Hello there, Birdie here with another video in the not tournament log series actually. This one's a special episode on YouTube. I'm joined once again by Richard Ancliff. Hello, Rich.
Hello.
How are you doing after our long week?
I'm pretty tired, but with these things, I think it's better just to get it out like straight away, how we felt about it, how it went, and
Yeah.
then I can go back to bed.
Still fresh in the mind. Yeah, definitely. So, for those that don't know and haven't seen the previous video, myself, Rich, and our team that me and Alex Johnson put together, Age of the Meta is over. Quick plug to my tournament in November. That Alex actually messaged me today saying that he had no idea that that was the name of my tournament, and that's why I called it that. So yeah, great shirts we got. Yeah, pull it up again.
Yeah.
So
So
we had
Jacob,
amazing team.
Aspirations make this.
He did. So we had Jacob from Conquest
Sure.
Creations. We of course had Rich from Hobbits podcast, myself from Birdie's World, and then we also had Harry Parkhill from Entmoo. With all the things, great quality t-shirts as well.
Really good. Yeah.
Yeah, really happy with those.
Really cool.
So yeah,
and
we had
they're
a
easy to
fantastic
spot
team.
with there being so many people. Yeah, so many people in the hull, you could easily spot our team. So
Yeah.
I could go and find somebody.
I kept getting asked if I was on the Australian team. And it's like, no, we're the English team that nicked an Australian player because one of our English players got nicked by the Australian team. So so that's why we did it. But yeah, for those that didn't know, we were at Ardacon at the World Championships. We did differing days within the team. So I did the Thursday, Friday doing doubles with Jacob from Conquest Creations. You were here for the one-day doubles with Johnny, wasn't it?
Johnny.
And
Yeah.
then we competed, all of us, in the 100 over the 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, for the World Championships. So going into it, Rich, what were your expectations of the event? Because we've not been to Ardacon before.
No. I think I was super excited. I felt pretty chilled throughout the entire event. Like there wasn't as much pressure on me. I think I put quite a lot of pressure on myself to try and get my first win. And with so many people there, I was like just a bit more relaxed. Like I was just going to have fun. There were loads of people going that we knew. Wanted to play some fun matches and have some fun games, but I didn't know what to expect.
Do you think
What was
that
yours?
no pressure on yourself might have helped? Considering I think you go to a lot of events and you are expecting yourself to dominate.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like when I talk to my wife, like whenever I go to an event, I'm going to try and win it, but I've never won an event.
Yeah.
So it's like weird that I keep getting really close but not doing it, but that's still my expectation. And then this weekend I was like not really expecting it.
And all the big names as well. It's nice going in when they don't see you as the threat, or they don't know who you are so much, especially like the international ones perhaps that are used to winning it and fighting for the top tables. They're not, maybe you're an unknown quantity then that it goes in with no pressure. It does help. I think that's maybe the difference I had last year compared to this year. Like at hundreds last year, I went in no pressure. They had no idea who I was, caught them off guard, did well at them. Whereas maybe this year I put more pressure on myself, overthinking stuff, army selections, as we found out. Yeah.
Giving out all your secrets on your YouTube channel.
Exactly, yeah. That's great though, we love that, right? That's amazing when you meet people and they come up. So what about the venue then? So do you want to tell everyone a bit about where we were?
Yeah, the Mercure in Manchester. It's just near the train station in the centre. It's massive. I don't really know what they're doing there. I'm guessing they do weddings and massive events there.
Seems that way. That's probably the main source of business, right?
Yeah, must be. But it was like multiple floors of things that were going on with the guy who played Radagast was there for a day. There was loads of nice boards and trains. Yeah. There were a load of stalls. There was just loads going on.
There was like a massive, this whole exhibition of all different boards, and you could actually play on them as well. In the evenings, they were doing raffles for people to get the chance to play like a custom scenario on them.
That would have been so cool.
Yeah. Did you go and have a look at those exhibitions? Yeah. Phenomenal.
Yeah, I spent a bit of time looking at the Moria one, where it was like multiple layers. And it like started with the Watcher and them going in, and you could like track the route through it.
Bit of feedback I'd maybe give was the food available at lunchtimes not amazing, but we ended up I tried it on the first day and I was like, right, we'll just go out. But it's right in the city centre. We had loads of different options for that. You could hire hotel rooms, of course, for that hotel, or like you got one opposite.
Yeah.
Right, so good location. Parking was expensive. You got the train. I think that is possibly for anyone considering going in future years. That's probably the way to go. Would you say?
I've got no idea how much the parking was.
It was like
I owe
20,
money
30
to
quid a
Lee.
day anywhere
Oh, was it?
nearby. Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Expensive. And I'll briefly tell the little story. Is I had a bit of fun with accommodation. I'd booked an Airbnb. Looked really nice on the pictures. Complete false advertising, and it was meant to be like a mile down the road. Parking was meant to be free included, and I thought, okay, I don't mind walking like 0.8 miles each morning. That's fine. And turned up to my accommodation on the Thursday night after the first day of doubles, and got into it. Looked horrendous. Area was awful. Homeless and some suspicious characters walking around outside. The door was all like rotting and falling apart. Got inside and there was rats in my bathroom and piles of rubbish piled up against the window like bin bags and just horrendous. It's like, forget this. I'm driving home. There was drilling going on through one wall, Islamic prayers going on above me. It's like, right, I'm off. I'm not dealing with this. Drove home, so I ended up having to drive back and forth all 4 days. But it kind of worked out well because Aidan, a friend of ours on our team, he got a ticket last minute for the Saturday Sunday event on Friday night at midnight, and it worked out that he lives 2 minutes down the road from me, so I just picked him up and we drove there and back both days. So it was pretty good actually. So I'm glad that all's good that ends well, right? What's the phrase? I got that wrong. All's well that ends well. Something like that.
We're tired, mate. We've done a lot of gaming this weekend.
Let us off.
I do think next year we're definitely going. I'm probably going to stay at the Mercure, but I'll happily stay across the road at the Britannia again. But it was was great.
Let's do it again. We had a great team vibe. We did the quiz and everything, didn't we, on the Friday night? I think you guys did it as well on the Saturday night.
Yeah, I didn't really contribute. I was sort of dead to the world. I just sat there.
You were still floating up there. You were like a balloon. We had a helium balloon on her.
My swag. Yeah.
And we'll come on to why that was in a moment. So, in terms of the doubles, we'll talk about that quickly. Do you want to talk about yours? So you were with Johnny. What was your list? And why did he pick that list? Because I thought that was a very clever choice, considering both of you.
Yeah, so we took Battle of Fornost because we thought 700 points, 350 each. We both get something fun to play with. Johnny plays Osgiliath pretty much non-stop, so he got all his tin men. I've been playing elves pretty much non-stop for the last couple of months. I get all the elves. It's what we both know how to play, and then we put it together, and the theory was we'd have some fun and smash some people. So I'll very quickly talk about it. Game one, we played the Rubbish Hobbits list, the one with them on ponies.
Bywater. Is it that one?
Yeah. I'm not even going to go into what scenarios there were because I don't like the double scenarios. But Johnny was in the middle and I had to come and save him. And yeah, it was pretty awesome just slaughtering hobbits. So we got the win. We then played Return of the King, the one where someone's in the middle and then it's Maelstrom. And they had a herald that didn't have might. It came on a Maelstrom all by itself, and I came in behind it and slaughtered it. And that was like half the army. Nice. So we could just cherry pick it from there. And it was closer than what it should have been. They played it well, but we got the win. So we're in the final, and this is the story of my year. Like I say, I'm in the final. If we're on the top table, if we win heavily, we've won doubles.
Yeah,
and we've got the Balrog, Depths of Moria, and we've got the perfect counter to it.
Yeah.
But we got Glorf and Ernor onto the Balrog 3 turns in a row. Heroic strength matched his fight value. Everyone rolled 6s. We lost 2 of the 3 Elven Blade roll-offs, and Ernor died, and then Glorfindel died.
How many wounds did you do on the turn you did actually win?
I think we did 5, and then there was a turn where they didn't get a 6, and we got 1 wound. So we'd done 6 wounds to it, and then the next one they killed Eonar, and it was a heavy loss.
But if you win just 2 of those 3 Elven Blades instead of just 1 of 3, you probably kill it, right?
we spend all our might, and he's gone, and
Yeah.
and we win that pretty comfortably. So it was a shame, but it was like a starter. You know, I wasn't too bothered about it, but it was a nice little warm up for the weekend, and it was really good fun playing with Johnny.
Yeah.
We played really well together. We only had one moment where we disagreed on what to do, and we kind of did what neither of us wanted to do. A bit of what I wanted to do, a bit of what Johnny did, and that might have cost us in the middle game. But we sort of recognised that and figured it out the rest of the event.
It was your first time partnering Johnny at a doubles, was it?
Yeah. So I was trying to learn from him, and there were a couple of things I did pick up on that Johnny does better than me. He's really quick, makes his decisions quick, sticks with
decisive,
it. Yeah. But and he's a bit harsher than me on rules. So there are a couple of things where they'd be like, "Oh, can you let me off?" Or I think this is that rule, and Johnny would be like, "No, that's not the rule." Not in a horrible way, but just stern.
We may have come too far for you to then change that sort of thing.
Yeah. And then the third thing he does, which is great, is they finish their turn and he says, "Are you done?" And they say yes, and he moves straight away. Where I'll give them the extra. I'll be like, "Are you done?" And if I can see a move I'm doing, I'm like, "Are you sure?" And then I'll go. Johnny's like, "Are you done?" Yes. Right. He starts moving all his models.
Yeah.
So I when I reflected on that, I was like, right, I'm going to start doing all those things. None of it's bad. It's just I'm a bit more friendly, a bit more easygoing. And I think, what's the point of doing doubles if I don't learn something? That's what I was trying to do. So learn that and use it.
Yeah, we've talked about you and me maybe doing a double sometime as well, sometime soon. So that'd be good to try. I'd like to see that because I think we think quite differently. So that'd be good to
that's what I think as well.
Learn from each other, sort of thing. Yeah. And
so how was your
point as well? You were the team that did have that depth of Maury that did beat you in the final round. That did go on to win the event because of that win.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is. If you would have won it, you would have been the winners. So well done getting to the final again. But just dropped at the last hurdle again. But at least you're putting yourself in the right position. So take that positive. Definitely.
Yeah, it's the one I've been least gutted about. I've lost to you in one and a couple others from our team where I've been a bit close.
Really, you only lose to us, don't you, in the team?
Yeah, I know.
So actually, for once, you got to lose to somebody else, other people outside our group at events.
Yeah, and that was just pure dice. Like, we did everything we could. There were no regrets. Me and Johnny were talking about it. We're like, could we have done anything different? It's like, no, we had to go in. We had to fill the backlog. We set it up.
Yeah,
we'd done it right. They were good players. They were experienced. So we weren't trapping him. That was the best chance we could do. And yeah, I've got no problem with that.
Yeah. And then for me, I was with Jacob, Conquest Creator, so really excited about that. I met him for a practice game on the Monday night. We played just our singles game. We were meant to have a doubles practice game as well, but because of the celebrity that he is, everyone at the hotel and the dog wanted to talk to him and meet him and wouldn't leave him alone, and he was like surrounded by Chileans for most of the night. And it was great for him, like he was loving it, and it's fantastic for him. And it just meant we didn't get any practice games at all with the doubles list. So we agreed on Last Alliance. I told him all the lists I had that I could take, and they were kind of dismissed of, "Oh, they're not competitive." It's like, yeah, you're probably right, but at least I understand them. Because his first question was, "What lists do you understand well, and like what do you play a lot of?" But he obviously wanted to do well, and he's a good player. He's a better player than maybe I thought he was. I hope you don't mind me saying that. You watch some of the Conquest Creation streams, and occasionally they get the odd thing wrong, or maybe he plays a certain way depending on some of his opponents. I love his competitive reports in particular, because they're the ones where you know he's really switched on. Playing against him and in person, you realise how good a player he is. We do have slightly different styles as well, which I'll come on to, which was fun. But we agreed on Last Alliance, and it wasn't a list he had much experience with. I put forward the idea of how about we go a bit off meta and go Gilgalad, because he gives you the magic resistant, also he gives you Fight 6 Kingsguard. Now, in hindsight, we both agreed this. Actually, I think we should have done that, and I should have really pushed for that, because 5 of the 6 lists we faced were heavy Fight 5 armies, and it would have been amazing having that Fight 6. And just like you with your Elven Blades, across our 6 games, I think we only won maybe 20-30% of our Elven Blade roll-offs, considering we should have been winning 66% of them. And there was 40 or 50 of them across those games, and I swear we were 20-30% of them. It was atrocious. Hence why I always prefer being evil in games, because one or two comes up far more often than the higher rolls. So, but yeah, so excited to play with him. And for the first 2 games, I was genuinely embarrassed to be Jacob's partner in the doubles, because my dice were horrific, to the point where at the end of the second game, he genuinely lost complete faith in me rolling any dice for anything. Foresight, priority, roll-offs, anything. I could barely win a dual roll, but I was playing Elrond with a band of elves, and he had Isildur and a captain and a load of elves. And I basically had my army deleted by the end of turn 2 in both games. And it was just... First game, I couldn't roll dice. Nothing my opponent... They weren't rolling great. Second game, the guy just rolled 6s non-stop for 2 turns. And even the Elven Blades, when I rolled the odd 6, we lost them all. And I just died, and I was left with Elrond by himself, surrounded in both games, and it was great. So I felt really sorry for Jacob. He won us one of those games by himself, and against Wolfpack of Angmar, and then we lost the other one to Muster. And then it kind of continued from there. We tried to swap warbands, so I'd do Isildur. I said, let's try it the other way around, see if that changes. I went quite aggressive with Isildur 2 games running into Bjorn and Troll Chieftain Blackgate, trying to do the heroic challenge ring combination. Both times we got screwed by my dice again. Inability to roll 6s, inability to roll 4 highs to wound against trapped models with a load of dice. And again, we lost the move off the following turn, again with me doing them on both occasions, and Isildur just gets deleted. And it was right, well, there we go. I've now cost us 4 games, and we were 1-3. And after lunch, you were there that day, went out for lunch, and you said I didn't see myself. You talked me down in a reversal of roles from a previous event. And it was just, I'm genuinely embarrassed. I know I'm a good player. Jacob's a good player. I wanted to win that event. I thought we were very capable of winning that event. And to be 1-3 after 4 games, 4 rounds. And our opponents were lovely, good opponents. But we should have won all 4 games. It's not even close. We should have won all 4 games. There was one of them. Maybe I went a bit too aggressive with the Isildur play. Maybe our opponent slightly outplayed us, but I don't think they massively outplayed us. I think it was still even. It could have gone our way. But the other 3 should have been clear wins, and it's I'm really sorry, Jacob. This is bad. So I rolled Foresight points game 1 and 2. Say again?
So Adam's downplaying this a little bit. You looked tired because of the accommodation thing, but just so down. I've never seen you like that. Yeah. And at the finale last year, I had a bad game, and I was I think I asked for a hug or you to talk me down or something, and you gave me a really good pep talk, and I went on and won my last game or 2 games or whatever it was. So I was right, I'm returning the favour here.
Yeah, I needed it.
And I've got a theory with doubles where someone should lead and someone should follow.
Yeah.
And I think you were both leading, or that's what I was hearing, and I was trying to talk you around to lead or let him lead, and then you won't feel the pressure so much.
Yeah, we have our own sort of styles, and then it was we were discussing our ideas, but there was clear differences in how we want to approach stuff. One of us would always back down. It was quite even with that, and we'd say, "Okay, you do what you want to do." And it was very, very great and amicable, and it was great to partner him. But yeah, after 4 games, I just felt embarrassed that I was really letting him down. It wasn't anything I was doing wrong. I thought I was setting things up right. But when I came back from lunch, after you'd sorted me out, I said to Jacob before the game, let's just have a quick 5-minute chat. I think I've been playing too aggressive. I think you've maybe been a little too cautious. I think I'm playing Isildur wrong. I'm really pushing for us to be aggressive with the combat, the challenge ring play. We're losing the move off. I can't roll to wound to save my life, even needing 3s and 4s. Let's just be a bit more careful in this game, and perhaps we need to link up better the two parts of our army. And then we went and smashed 2 people, and I kind of drove the 5th game. I drove the beginning of the 6th game, and then we got quite ahead. And then Jacob saying, "Okay, we're well up now. Let's kind of protect this lead." And it was we drew the same guys that had beaten us in round 4. And it was Nah, we're well ahead here. I want to push this advantage and hammer them now. Like, I want to really get on top and hammer it home. And he was saying, oh, let's protect it. Let's back off with the banner, back off with the heroes. You've seen your rolling. You might just do it again and cost us the game. It's like, yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. So we backed off and played more cautious. And it almost came back to haunt us, but we just about scraped over the line. And maybe he was right to take the no risk approach. So we end up 3-3. Loved doing it with Jacob. He was a proper gent. We had a good laugh, mostly at my expense, if I'm honest. It was like, but yeah, I rolled foresight for the first 2 games. I rolled a 1 and a 1. He rolled foresight for the remaining 4 games and got 6-6-5-3. I stopped rolling priority for us or any move offs from the end of game 2 because I couldn't be trusted with it. It was like, yeah, but had a good fun. Somehow he was brave enough to say, how about we do it next year? Again, the doubles together.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll see after reflecting on it if he wants to follow through with that, considering how bad I did let him down with my dice in those first 4 games. But
yeah, I want to hear his episode on his take on it.
I'd love to hear that. Yeah, absolutely, because I think he was far too polite throughout the event to me, just saying, "Oh no, you did all right," and all this. It's like I know I set things up right, but I was clearly letting the side down. Clearly. But at least you got to a final and had a chance to win the event. We got nowhere near and at least got ourselves respectably even. So we had a real good time. Friday night we had the quiz. We almost won it. We had an incredible strategy, didn't we, Rich? Do you want to tell the audience what our strategy was?
Well, this was for a start. This is the longest quiz ever. It was like 3 hours after the long day.
Yeah.
It was done on an app, and it was teams of 8, so not everyone could get around the phone or do it. But what happened is, on some questions, if you were the quickest person to answer, you'd spin a wheel, and you could get first place, second place. You could lose points, etc.
Yeah.
So
it would match you to the points of whoever was top.
Yeah. So we realised we weren't doing it very well, so we thought we'll be quick. So like a picture would come up and you'd have to press, they'd like take shadow facts out of the picture and you'd have to click on it and where he was, and whoever was quickest would spin the wheel. So we were doing that, and then we eventually got it right. Did you was it you that got it right?
It was me that got the first one that got us to first place, yeah.
Yeah, and then we spun the wheel and it got onto first place.
It was a complete guess, wasn't it? But we didn't even let the question get... They hadn't even said the question. They hadn't even shown us the picture. I just clicked through it and clicked the first answer. There was like multiple choice of 4, and it just happened to get us the right one, and then it spun the wheel.
Yeah. So I thought it was the end of the quiz because there were 3 rounds. I thought there were 2 rounds because it was about 11 o'clock by this point.
Yeah.
So we thought we were joined top at that point, but we had a whole other round. And by that point, I'd had a few drinks. A couple of us had a few drinks. I think it was just Johnny and Tom mainly doing it.
Yeah.
And they let us down in the end. I think we finished 10th. Yeah, they really should have
proper let
done
down.
A bit better.
Yeah, pull the finger out next time.
I'm a bit disappointed.
Yeah, proper let down.
But it was a good laugh because there were just so many people there just coming and chatting and joining our group. Jacob hung out with us as well, which was nice. I'm sure he had his pick of whoever he wanted to, and he hung out with us.
Chose us plebs.
Yeah.
So that was great fun. We kind of then went to bed ready for the big one, the World Championships. So what did you take? What was your list going into it? And how many practice games had you had with it? Talk us through it.
Yeah, so Rivendell, thinking not many people would take it, but I had Elrond with Bilbo, Elrond on foot, importantly. Arwen on Asphaleth, Lindia, and then 30 models total. But I'd taken this quite seriously. I think I'd had 19 practice games with this list at 700 points.
Nice. With a very high win record as well, would you say? Because I know you track all your games, of course.
Yeah, I've got it on my other laptop spreadsheet. I think I lost 3, maybe 4 games. But the one against you was a freak one where you rolled 6s and won Elven Blade roll-offs. And then it ended on a 1-2, otherwise I think I'd have beat you.
Yeah,
and then against Nat, the exact same thing happened. It ended on the first 1-2, and I think if it goes on another turn, I beat her. And I lost to Rick's Men of the West. That's a tough matchup.
Yeah.
So maybe it was 3. So I'd practiced almost every scenario. I practiced all the best players around us. Every scenario I think I'm bad at because I log all my stats, so I know which scenarios I'm not very good at. I practiced on all those.
Yeah.
I took it seriously and prep for this weekend.
Yeah, you did. I think you went in the most prepped out of any of us on the team, I'd say. Maybe Johnny, considering he's played the list for 6 months and it's a meta list.
Yeah, clearly.
So yeah,
and you picked up a random load of models from your box and made an army out of that, didn't you?
I just picked what looked pretty that I really like. Yeah. So
yeah,
everything this year, and you were the biggest advocate of this, the voice in my head that I should have listened to, my conscience, the voice of reason. I've won 4 events with Army of Gundabad this year. The only 4 events it's won in the GBHL since the new edition came out. Everything was screaming at, I fully understand this army, I know how to get the best of it, I had a bloody good 700 point list, all built, ready to go. I've even won 2 events with that exact 700 point event, that list. And you were telling me till the cows come home for like the last 2 months. Go with Gundabad. And I had this wild idea, despite never using the list before, that Kirithungol on paper would be a great one to take. Played 13 practice games with it. Did beat you. Bet multiple other good players. I bet Johnny with it on 1 game as well. I had a good win record with it, but after taking it to an event 2 weeks before Ardacon and like a couple of days before the cut-off, decided I really didn't like running it. I enjoy running it, it was fun, but I hated watching my army just get decimated and I'd have to win every game on scenario because I absolutely could not win a fight against any army. So that left me with complete wildcard pick with absolutely no practice games, and I picked a Grand Army of the South, which really suffers when you don't have legacies because you lose your hitting power and you lose your magic. But I did 2 practice games with it, won 1, lost 1. It felt pretty decent. So me deciding to not take Kirithungol because I didn't like watching my army get decimated, I decided to go with a D3 and D4 army instead, because that's not going to get decimated, is it? So there we go. So going into the World Championships, I've gone in the least prepared, I think, of our team. I was extremely hampered by the lack of legacies. And yeah, how did you get on? Let's talk about you floating through the weekend like a helium balloon.
I keep laughing. You're setting me up, mate. Like, I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah. Shall we do a game at a time, or do you want to do?
Should we do quick reviews of each game?
Quick review of each round. Yeah, we'll keep it quite brief. Yeah.
We'll do me, you.
Yeah.
So my expectations going into this event was if I could finish in the top 100, I would be super happy. That's where I thought I would be.
That's quite a low expectation for yourself. I thought you'd. I was hoping you'd be up there, like challenging, because I know how good a player you are. So actually, that's interesting to hear you say that.
It's hard because it's not like a normal event where you go in and there's better players and there's worse players. There are good players from everywhere. Yeah. So I wasn't sure where the standard would be, assuming that more better players come to it from abroad than rubbish players come to it from abroad. Of course. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
I think that was what I was thinking.
There's not going to be many easy wins, is there? Yeah.
No, which leads me on to my first game. So there was a redraw. I had a really nasty matchup against a load of Crabane. I think it was white-handed. It got redrawn, and I turned up to the table, and the guy was like, shook my hand, and he was like, just so you know, this is my 4th ever game. So part of me was like, oh, that's wicked. I'm going to get a win. Start off the tournament really well. Have a good laugh with him. We got chatting. He was playing Rise of Amir, so Loz on my podcast, he plays it non-stop. He's done a deep dive on it. I've played against it loads. So I was like, telling him about the podcast. He told me about his YouTube channel, and I looked at it and it was like 109,000 subscribers. I was like, who's this guy? War Hipster. He's a must be a really famous painter. Because I don't really paint, I'd not heard of him.
Yeah. It's not that really, is it?
No, so I was like really trying to be his friend, like to do a meet up, like when we do a season 4 of our podcast, could get him on or something, because he was a really cool guy, but he just didn't know what to do with his army. And he stood back and shot me. And he was just killing all my guys, and it was fog of war. I was like, all I can do is get my terrain piece and hope for a 5-5 draw. And I was a little bit sad. And then I sort of joked with him. I was like, I'm just going to stand here now, so we can go and get a beer if you want, and we'll call it 5-5. I wasn't being totally serious, but I was kind of was trying to like get him to do something so he could learn his army. And he was like, oh no, I'll come in. So I came in as well, and he shot me a couple more turns, and then we went in. Rafa Brunin went. I got a 6. Gandalf threw everything. I think he got a 3 high. So Gandalf was on the floor. I killed him. So I'd got my target. He couldn't protect his target. And then I just let him come in and do his. So he didn't get to do to the Sutton, but I sort of talked him through how it would work if he'd have done it. So I beat him pretty comfortably, 15-3 or something like that. You came over and you were like, why are you so down about even though you've won? But I was sort of like built myself up for like
into, right, because of the
because he'd been told that Rafa Brunin was going to ruin his day, and he would have. If he wanted to win that, he'd have beat me because he'd have just shot me all game.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the most fun game, but it was great talking to him. But I built myself up to like, I wanted competitive games. I wanted to play the best there. And it's not a knock on him. It was just one of those things. So I didn't really get what I wanted, even though I got the win. I'm not just there to win. I want good games.
Yeah.
But after the game, so I talked him through how to play Riders of Aimia, and I saw that he got his first ever win at a tournament, and it was against Rivendell on the next day. And I spoke to him, and he did exactly what I'd told him to do. So
you taught him how to beat your list again, yeah. But luckily, after you'd played it, well done. That's more like it.
Yeah,
well done.
But so I made a friend there, and it was for game 1 win.
Cracking start, yeah. Opposite to you, I had the first draw come out, and I was up against a guy called Jeb something, can't remember his surname, and I'd faced him at the doubles the day before or 2 days before. And we'd beaten them, and he came over and he shook my hand, and it was really friendly. We had a really great rapport when we were playing them at doubles. Great duo. And he went, "Oh, I can't believe I'm playing you. You're gonna smash me here. I can't believe I've drawn you. I'm gonna lose this." I'd drawn what was it? I can't remember what he was playing, but it was a good matchup for me as well. And I was thinking, yeah, I'm happy with this. I'm really happy with this draw. This is like, he was almost beaten before he turned up to the table, which is. It's not. You don't want it, but you do want it because it's kind of like they're already preparing themselves to lose to you. It's like, great, okay. And then it got redrawn, and I got put up against Henry Oakes. This guy finished 6th overall in the final standings. He went 6-1 for the weekend, only got 1 loss in the whole weekend. He was running a 43 model Khazad-dûm, the army you despise that we talked about, the nameless horde of 2 dwarf kings and a captain. He had 12 Iron Guard, 12 Dwarf Rangers, and I said to you, the whole team before the event, the worst possible matchup I could get for my army that's almost all strength 3 is bloody Khazad-dûm, because not only did he outnumbered me 40 models to 43, but because of the Dwarven mirrors, he outshoots me convincingly. In combat, he beats me because he's got the same fight value or better. He's got better throwing weapons than me. He's got more rerolls than me, more dice. It was like, this is awful. And we got Fog of War. And his shooting was insane. Like, I didn't even bother trying to shoot. I set my crossbows up as my front line for D6 to at least minimise the shooting damage you could do. And just went straight towards him as fast as I could. Thought, I've just got to get fighting him, and hopefully I've got 3 heroes with 3 attacks. Hopefully I can do some damage in combat with them because his heroes are crap and they'll be at the back, they'll be behind the lines. Maybe I can assassinate the heroes, keep mine safe, get my terrain piece. I'm clearly going to lose the battle, but I can at least win the scenario. And over 2 turns, and I think he made a mistake here, which is crazy for such an experienced tournament player this guy is from down south. He intentionally shot into my crossbows. Like, he's strength 3. He should be doing the in the ways through them and shooting my D4 and D3 guys. And he shot into my crossbows for 2 turns. And over the space of 2 turns, he killed all my crossbows. cleared them all out. The first turn in particular, he rolled like 3 ranges at a time. He rolled 3 of them, got 3 hits, then rolled a 666 and killed 3 crossbows. It's like, what? And then the next ones, he rolls 4 dice, 3 hits, 666 again. Like, what? What is happening here? And just my crossbows just straight down the line, all of them dead in 2 turns.
And unlucky. That's your whole strategy with that army as well.
That's my D6 to mitigate the shooting. And yeah. That's the main reason I took them. Like some people said I've got a shooting army. It's more I turn up to the board, and if they've got a lot of shooting, that's my D6 defense to mitigate it. And I'll march towards them and fight them. And they were just gone, so I was outnumbered 43 models to 30 before we even got into combat. I sent a flank round the right. Suladan tried to punch through. I got really unlucky with a combat at one moment, which maybe could have won me the game. I was up against one dwarf. I win the fight. I've got 3 dice, needing a 5, re-rolling 1s. I've got a might point behind me, and I rolled 222. And if I win that fight, I break through his line and combat towards my terrain piece. So I get my terrain piece. Suladan was my protect. I could have also kept Suladan nearby instead of getting my terrain piece, and then gone after my king, which was my target. I had 2 turns in the game where Raza was perfectly set up to get my target, which was the unnamed dwarf king that wasn't his leader. Would have been fight 6. I had 2 might on Raza. He had no might on that king, and both times I lost the move off and couldn't get him in. And it's like if I win either of those move offs, Raza has a very good chance of killing my target, and I think I win the game. I ended up losing it 8-5. It literally, I got my protect, he got his protect, and he broke me. That was it. But if I get either my terrain piece or I get my target with Raza, I actually win the game. So I was really happy with how I played it. It's a horrible matchup. His shooting was insane for the first 2 turns, but then after that it was pretty even. No problem with how the game played. Nice opponent. We had a really friendly game. He wasn't very chatty. He was very, very focused. It was obvious he was going to try and win the event sort of thing. But yeah, I'd like to play him again sometime with a bit more of a fair matchup. Well, it was just 2 move-offs and that botched combat that lost me the game, really.
Yeah, with 240-odd players, it's just like the first round's just mad, isn't it? You could
went from a perfect draw to a shocking draw. But 8-5, minor loss considering what I was up against. I was actually relatively happy with that result. And I thought, okay, now I submarine from here. So then round 2, what did you get from round 2?
Round 2 was Fog of War. No, we just did Fog of War. It was to the death, wasn't it?
To the death, yeah.
It was to the death. I got Moria, Cave Drake, Druzag, Bat Swarms, Durbers, Captain Shaman. And it's a list I've played as and against a lot. Especially, I'm pretty much known for Assault on Lothlorien, so Druzag and Bats and Rage and stuff. I know how that works really well. Lee took that to Masters a few weeks ago, so I'd given him a couple of practice games. Nice. So I knew how it worked.
I knew what to do.
And my army's just built to kill monsters. With Bilbo, the foresight, I can sort of control when that fight happens and take it down. My shooting was hot. I had a banner. They didn't have a banner. I'd killed 8 or 9 in shooting on the way in, so we were almost similar numbers. He put the Cave Drake in. I'd cast a 1 dice Rafa Brunin. I think I got a 4. He only used 1 dice, his free 1 to resist it, failed. So I couldn't get Elrond in that turn or Bilbo. So he took a Shrev 2 hit. He was on his arse. I got 4 or 5 guys in. He then trapped his own model, so he gets the... If I don't kill him, he can lash out on everybody.
Yes, yeah.
I did 5 wounds with everyone 2-handing and him being trapped. So he survived. He lashed out. He got quite unlucky. I don't think he killed any of my models, and he might have killed 2 of his own.
Oh, wow.
And then the next turn, he didn't have any might around it because he'd put the Cave Drake a little bit out of position, maybe a bit too aggressive because the shooting had gone so well for me. I got Elrond and Bilbo on. He called a heroic defense, but the amount of dice I had in that fight, the Drake was still all on its bottom. Then he tried to he'd cast Fury. I think he failed the first one, so he'd spent a second will to do it on the next turn. And I had Lindir, so I just waited until I broke him, took priority, 3 dice to foil magic, left and then everything ran away. I tagged up his heroes, then everything ran away, and it was game over. It was quite a heavy win, but I think it was unfortunate for him. The board was kind to me. I had a nice little choke point for my elves, and my bows were in relative safety. It was a bad matchup for him. It was exactly what I needed, or what I knew what to do against in that scenario. Not a big fan of To the Death.
Yeah, you've practiced plenty against it. You know how it works. Also, that they can't get away from Bilbo that easily. They don't have massive mobility, do they? It's a big base. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had to come to me because I had the banner. It was it was very favourable, and then I got rid of the Drake in 2 turns of combat.
Yeah.
The bats were a bit of a problem. He did a couple of cool plays with a couple of Felwargs that come around the back, and then he'd enraged them and got onto Arwen with a bat, and I got lucky. I mean, it wouldn't matter if she'd have died, but I got lucky. I got 6, and they didn't.
Yeah.
So I didn't break in either of my first 2 games. I didn't take a wound on my leader. Didn't lose any heroes. It was pretty nice game, and I got the sense he was a pretty decent player from Denmark. I think Fabian was his name.
I kind of want to replay that day 1 just to see you floating around that room all day. It was great. You were
I had a bit of a swag
after every game. It was great with your flip flops.
Yeah. Well, flip flops are what you should wear to a tournament, even in the winter.
Yeah,
I'm sticking by this because the rooms are so warm.
Yeah.
And where I was in the hall, it was so warm. There was no air conditioning.
You got to get yourself one of these.
Part. Yeah, I do. And those ones that go around people's necks that I saw,
they're pretty good,
I'm investing. So 2 for 2.
Yeah. So on to me. I got quite a favourable matchup on this one. I faced a guy called Kenny Runshall. Lovely guy. Like, this guy kept his spirits up throughout. Like, he was very direct with how he spoke, but he was very friendly with it. He was running Dragon Emperor, so against my Grand Army of the South, I outshoot him considerably. And even when he got into the fight, he actually split up Ratabi and his Dragon Emperor and came towards me. He's got no march in the list. He had the whole board to come towards, and he was coming at me piecemeal. Like, he ran at me with 3 cataphracts by themselves, and they just got eaten. And he ran his Easterlings at me up, not quite in a conga, but in a bit of a scattered conga line. And it was like I was picking them off 3 or 4 at a time as they're coming at me. And it was clear I was going to win the game really early on. My shooting was poor, actually. I was, considering what I've got, I was killing 1 Easterling a turn with shooting, 2 if I was lucky. And he had 8 Easterling bows and was so committed to using them, and was somehow trading quite effectively with me on his shooting. It was quite funny. But not a lot to say with this game, to be fair. He came in piecemeal. He put a lot of threat under Suladan with Ratabi. He won a couple of move-offs and killed Suladan. But then Dalamir basically cleared out everything that was over there, except Ratabi, that he just stayed away from and kept tagging up. And yeah, it was a good win. His Emperor, I had him trapped and surrounded maybe 4 or 5 turns running with everything I had. All my troops, and twice I went into him with Raza and struck, because I made Emperor my target for him, and I rolled a 2 on both occasions, and he won both Elven Blade roll-offs, and then just murdered everyone around him, including Raza, and it was like, okay, let's just stay away from him, and I just quartered him before I could get, I was 2 or 3 away from breaking, so I just thought, let's not lose a game that I should clearly win here. Just moved away from the Dragon Emperor so he couldn't charge anyone, and made sure I quartered him and ended the game. So I couldn't get a big win from it because of how bad some of my dice bits were, but got an 8-6 win. He was a lovely opponent, and the fact he got destroyed as well, just to call out to Kenny, he was so calm and friendly about it, really took it on the chin.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think that's a good scenario for the Dragon Emp. He's a banner, isn't it?
Yeah.
For the VPs.
He had an extra banner in the list, and I put a massive effort in the final turn to combat Dalamir into the banner to kill it. And I went, that's 4 VPs I've got off the board there. And because he'd already killed Suladan, I was a bit nervous about the banner points winning him the game. And then he went, Dragon Emperor's a banner. It's like, does it not count as a banner? He's actually a banner. It's, shit. Right, okay. Yeah. So the game ended, and I thought, I've won this 8-2. And then he went, no, it's 8-6. Whoops. Well.
Yeah.
Silly me.
At least you got the win on the board.
Got the win. Minor win. I won by 2 VPs. There you go. So, round 3. How did you get on there?
Yeah, really good game. So this is exactly what I wanted from this tournament. I drew Luke Hilda, Storm Camp,
Sorry.
with his pajama elves, Lothlorien. And you'd given me a little talk on how Luke plays before the game, and he was a legend. He was playing someone who's he's an expert in elves, right? He plays Rivendell, he plays Lothlorien.
He's played it for like 2 or 3 years, yeah. I think my exact description of him, and I hope it don't mind me saying this, he's unsettlingly calm when you're at the table with him. Like, he makes you somehow a little more flustered just because of how crazy calm he is.
Maybe, but I think I was equally calm this weekend. I need to take this forward. I was proper chilled. And we had the most chill game. We were just laughing. We were playing, like, we pretty much had the same strategy: storm the camp, get the banner and a hero and 5 models in the opponent's camp. And then I went pretty hard to try and break him to get the points, and he was trying to shoot my banner to get the points, and that was the difference. So we spent 2 hours like skirting each other. There was a big build. There was loads of terrain, which was perfect for him for his elven cloaks, but also perfect for me for in the ways. So the shooting phase took quite a while because I think he had 10 more models than me. He had 40, and then he maxed out his bows and had a lot of throwing weapons as well. And a big building in the middle, and I'd used my foresight to give him priority, and he'd split up. And I looked like I was going to split, but then I just sent everything to my left, his right.
Nice. The
next turn, it was his captain on all my heroes. I think we had a move off. I won the move off. I went in, and 2 Rafa Brunins. He didn't resist either of them, and I think I killed 6 or 8 elves.
Oh, wow.
That turn, yeah, I tagged up everything. He ran away with that captain then, and eventually got it onto my camp.
Because Lothlorien is magic resistant, isn't it, as well? So he had chances to resist those and just failed, yeah?
Yeah, and it weren't like a roll 6s.
And people are not resisting your rats, yeah?
Yeah, no, it turns out the game's much easier when dice go your way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say they were hot. I think I rolled a 4 on the Wrath, and he didn't roll a 4 on 1 dice. Like, resistance to magic, you always think it's going to be better than what it is, apart from when it's mega and it resists everything.
Yeah.
And it spoils things. So then he had a couple of models still left, so I was surrounding him, doing the Adam Bird, 1 model, and then having everybody around it. So he can't shoot into combat, and I'm going to heroic combat out, so I'm 10, 12, or 6 inches closer to his base.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't put everybody in, so I was putting the banner into combats so he couldn't shoot it. And I was like, if I lose the fight, I'm going to lose it this way.
Yeah.
Because he was shooting all the spears and that, because there were so many bows coming from everywhere. But I got away with it. And then Celeborn was exposed, and I combated out, and then he won the roll for the next turn. He did a really good, is it Writhing Vines? So I couldn't get around to get him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I got into his base, I killed everybody, I broke him, and then he had to come. I think he was 3 off breaking me, he had to come to me then. So he sent Haldir, Celeborn, and 3 guys I think he had left. Everyone else was in my base, and they killed out all the models in my base. And it was close. It was so clutch. Like, Luke did everything he could to try and get my banner. It was combating with Haldir. I don't think it went off, or he'd got onto it. Celeborn was immobilizing it, so I couldn't move it. Is it immobilized? Whatever it is. The spell where they can't move. Elrond had lost all his fate from shooting, so I weren't putting Elrond anywhere near anybody because it was so close. And I managed to just quarter him in the end and got the very narrow win. I think it was 17-15 or something ridiculous. But that's exactly what I wanted from the week.
Playing Luke as well, top player, really gives you a fantastic tactical challenge. So to get over the line against him there, that was, in my opinion, the most impressive win of your weekend, that one, when you told me about that one.
Maybe. I don't want to do any spoilers. There's some other good ones.
Some other good ones.
But it was so funny because, like, the team were coming over and they were like, "Oh, how you got on?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I've won." And like the looks on everyone's faces of shock were like, "Oh, okay."
No, there was no shock on me. I knew you could take him on. I just knew it'd be a good tight game.
It was exactly what I wanted from this weekend. A fun game.
Yeah.
Done in the right way. Yeah, it was very tactical, and I just got away with it.
Next one for me was probably my most fun game of the weekend. The whole week, I'd say, actually. I gave the guy my most sporting vote as well. So this was Tony Liebien Hjoig. He was a German guy. And he was running Bjornings. And this was, as you say, Storm the Camp. So I thought, this is pretty good for me here. I should win this. I've got a mobility advantage with Suladan. If I can get him into the camp, that's just 10 VP sat right there. And we had this kind of like arena ruin in a square in the middle of the board. And he sent Grimbjorn and all his Bjornings straight towards it and into it. And he sent Bjorn by himself down the bottom of the board. And I thought, I know what he's doing here. That's meant to hold me up. And he's just going to try and get into my camp with Bjorn. So I moved all my crossbows the first 2 turns. And he was looking at me like, are you moving them? Like, why are you not shooting me? And I set them up in this like really scattered formation on this bottom of the board. And it was like, if Bjorn goes into there, he's going to have to kill them one at a time and bounce through them. And I've got 12 crossbows plus Jeff the Harad Bowman and my captain with a crossbow. And I'll be shooting into his combats non-stop. And I'll either kill my guy and stop him barging, hurling or doing stuff, or I'll at least be putting wounds into his leader. It's a win-win for me either way, and it'll slow him down and take him ages to deal with it. And I think the rest of my army can probably deal with Grimbjorn and some Bjornings. Now, Grimbjorn had a pretty damn good game for him. My God, he went nuts and killed half my army by himself. However, while that's happening, and I'm holding him up, Dalamere's at the bottom of his line, killing 1 to 2 Bjornings a turn because Dalamere had his best game of the whole week. Just fight 6, of course, outfights them. Bane of Kings, his strength 4. I was trying to send him into a Bjorning that had already taken a wound and a fresh one. And if he won the fight, he'd roll reliably 3 4s on 6 dice with the Bane of Kings. And he was killing 2 Bjornings a turn. So he was having a great old time. And Tony was going, I can't believe how crazy that guy is. Like, what the hell is that guy? And he was loving it. Like, he'd never faced him before. And it was like, this is the perfect scenario for, the perfect matchup for Dalamere, as long as I can keep him away from the bears. He twice had a chance to hurl at Suladan to knock him off the horse. But I'd have still got him into the camp. It'd just taken me a little longer. But luckily, he failed the intelligence on those 2 turns. But basically, I held up the middle. Dalamere completely cleared out all his Bjornings, so it was just left with Grimbjorn and Bjorn. Bjorn completely cleared out. My whole strategy failed, by the way. I thought that was a brilliant strategy. I think in practice, it should be a great strategy. I shot into that combat with 12, 13 crossbows constantly all game. Killed my own guy a couple of times, not often enough. And I only dealt 2 wounds to Bjorn in the whole game. And it was like, I should probably have even killed him with that amount of shots going into him every turn for like 6 or 7 turns. My shooting was atrocious. When I realised he was killing my crossbows and bouncing off them, I then backed all my crossbows into my camp, so I outnumbered him in there. However, my captain then rolled a double 1 and ran away when I broke. And then, 2 and a 1, ran away. And then multiple of my others ran away. So I think I only had 3 in my camp compared to his dominant 4 at the end. So he did capture mine. But I've got Suladan, a Harad Raider and a Serpent Guard in his camp. So I've captured his and I've got 12 points for that. So that was great. Held him up in the middle. Dalamere cleared out the rest. And that was it. Game ended and came out with a 14-9 win. It was my game to lose. I should always win that. Tony was a great guy, and he had my sarcastic sense of humour. So we were, every time one of us did a bad roll, it was like, yeah, that was always going to happen. Yeah, of course it was, mate. Oh, you've got a combat, have you? I'll get a 6. There you go. And he did. And it was like, yeah, we were just having a great old time. So, yeah, he got my most sporting. And he was, funny thing was, he was next to his mate that was also German next to him. And they were talking a little bit in German. Now, I used to live in Germany. I speak a bit of German. So when he even said at the beginning of the game, and I heard him say it to his mate, I'm going to send Bjorn down the right of the board. And it was like, right, I know where he's going. I'm going to send my crossbows over there.
Nice.
So that was fun. So yeah, thanks, Tony, for the game. That was brilliant. So, round 4, mate. You are now 3-0, buzzing, floating on a cloud. What did you get next?
Yeah, I'm on table 5.
Yeah.
Out of how many tables? 90 odds? No, I don't.
There was over
Loads.
100. I think there was 115 tables, something like that.
Wow. Okay, so yeah, I'm on table 5, and I'm playing Nicholas Madsen, who told me he's the number 1 player in Denmark, I think. A bit worried I'm getting him and the other one, the Moray player, mixed up now. I think the Moray one was actually from Germany. Apologies if he listens. I think he's the number 1 player from Denmark. He says there's quite a small community, and there's like a couple of them that are always competing, but he's the best. He was there to win the event. He had Men of the West, Gandalf and Aragorn, 22 models. They're both mounted, bunch of tin men. Retrieval. And I loved retrieval. And it's really good for my army because I've got Arwen. So as long as she keeps Astolf, if I can do a combat at the right time, I can get in and get out. And if I can do a Rathbrunin as well and knock people prone, I can ignore them.
Yeah.
I can go straight past them. So all game she is just staying out of Gandalf. It's a completely open board as well in the middle. And he'd left 4 models to protect his retrieval. I didn't leave any to protect mine because I had 30 models. He had 22. I was like, I'm taking the advantage here. Did my Rathbrunins like I normally do. I never go for the heroes because I don't want them to resist. So tin men are going down and I'm winning the battle line. Aragorn's killing 2 to 4 a turn. There's nothing I can do about that. He didn't whiff a single roll. Gandalf had a pretty good game as well. I broke him quite comfortably, and then he brought 3 models forward from the back to reinforce it. And I was 3 or 4 off breaking, and I was like, I wanted to break, because if I can do it by Mega Wrath, I can potentially get both heroes off their horses, and then they're not getting mine. And now Arwen can sneak along the back. I got quite lucky with Gandalf. In that list, he re-rolls, doesn't he? He doesn't get the free one.
Yes.
He re-rolls his spells. So, and he kept failing them. Or if he did a Sorcerer's Blast, he didn't kill the model he was doing it to. Or I was resisting with Lindir's resistance to magic around everybody. So I got a bit lucky. And I sailed the combat. And I went through and I set it up so I was outside of 6. I think I rolled 6 foresight that game as well. So in the next turn, I could go in and I could get the objective. So that was pretty much guaranteed. I broke. I was 2-handing with everybody, so I was D5 to make sure I broke. And then so the next turn, I win priority. He's out of resource. He's just got his free one on Aragorn. I'm out of resource as well at this point. I do the Mega Wrath and I knock Aragorn off his horse. I do a wound. He fails all 3 fate. So he's prone. He's taken a wound. Gandalf survived. I think I killed 5 tin men with it.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow.
So he had like 4 models left on the board. But he's got his free bite. So he stands Aragorn up and he charges Elrond, and he moves Gandalf with his 12-inch move right round to my back objective. And I sort of counter move to get a guy to block him. Arwen goes in, Rathbrunin with the last guy, and then gets the objective, and she runs away. So I've got it. Aragorn fluffs his roll. Elrond kills Aragorn. Amazing. I hate LSR. I love killing LSR. It felt amazing. Yeah. I was like, these tin men have gone down. LSR's gone down. I've got the objective. He can't get my objective. His turn. Forgot that you can take Pippin off. So Pippin comes off and tags my guy. Gandalf goes around and gets my objective. Does it end on a 1-2? It does. If it goes on another turn or 2, I definitely get off. I've got the models to stop Gandalf, and I've still got the foresight.
I've got to stop you there for a sec, because we need to query something, because maybe people can correct us or sort this out in the comments. I've been told and always played it that when you dismount Pippin, you can't dismount him into combat.
Oh, okay.
So, with passengers, you can drop them off and they can move no further. And even if you drop them off in a control zone, they must not move any further. They can't get any closer. So you'd have to drop them off a millimetre away. You can't drop them into a combat. Now, I could be wrong with that. That is how I've discussed it with multiple relatively top players. I've read it and that's how it reads to me. So when I always do it with Pippin to try and get the free combat out of him in Pelennor, I drop him off somewhere, ready for moving him next turn to get a free combat. Because I can't. I would love to drop him off and say, all right, he's going to be in this combat, and I'll do a combat straight away. So I don't think that's quite right. He might not have known; it might have been accidental, totally. But that's one maybe in the comments if you could confirm for us. And
yeah, if you can let us know.
Let me know what you think.
I felt a bit bad that game because I challenged him on a couple of rules, and he was right on both ones. The Rafa Bruin and Tin Men were in shield wall. I thought they were prone, and then I did it. It's the other way around. Right. So, like in tennis, Hawkeye technology, you only have a couple of checks, and then you run out. And also I think it was
times with challenging, so you thought I can't keep challenging.
And it was a friendly game. Say we're on table 5, and he clearly wanted to win.
Yeah.
And I think there were 4 or 5 minutes left, and I wanted to get turns in to get Arwen off the board, and I was surrounding Gandalf the next turn with all the foresight. Unless he rolled a 6, I'll get an Elrond on him the next turn. So then I could have just gone and put it back on the spot, is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But the game ended on the first 1-2 again, which was a shame, but I got the win. I can't remember what the score was. Let me find out.
You got the win at least, but anyone in the comments there.
It was 10-7.
Yeah, let us know if that is the case. Like, I've read it multiple times, and that's how it reads to me. That you can't, even if you drop them in a control zone, they must remain an inch, like a millimetre away. They can't charge. Okay. So, but again, he might not have been aware. It's an innocent one to make that part.
I don't think he did it on purpose. I wasn't expecting to be this high up on the board, on the tables, and I was a bit worried that it was going to get really sweaty and technical, and it wasn't.
It didn't.
Everything was done in the right spirit. There was no language barrier. He was very clear with what he wanted to do. He was right on all the rules that he did say. Yeah. But if he is wrong, that would have been another major for me, which would have been nice.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to get the win at that point. I couldn't believe I was so high up. I couldn't believe I'd won 4 games.
4-0, mate, at the end of day 1. Like, that was...
Yeah, day 1, I was floating.
That was incredible. Like, I knew every time you'd won a game because you were floating over to me. I've never seen you like that before. It was brilliant.
Yeah, felt good.
I also had a Dane in round 4, so I was at this point going into this game. I was on the recovery path. I'd had a minor loss, 2 minor wins. I was feeling pretty good about the list. Even the loss, I was happy with how I played it. I thought, okay, I still think I can compete for this event at this point, going into this game. And I got drawn against the guy's mate that was next to us in the previous game, who also had played against Bjorning. So me and him, we were kind of talking the 2 tables all the way through. Lovely guy. I almost wanted to give this guy some more sporting because we had a real nice game. Great chat afterwards. And he was running Great Eye. He was the only guy there with Great Eye, which me and Johnny have said doesn't really function well at 700 points. It needs 800 minimum. An interesting list. He had Witch King on Fellbeast, Gorbag and Mouth of Sauron. And he just had, I think, 10 Black Numenorians, some Morannons and some normal orcs as well. And we're playing Retrieval. It's like he's got no mobility except like 2 Warg Riders and the Fellbeast. I'm not that concerned. I set up this nice defensive perimeter around this ruin where my Retrieval thing was. He comes towards me. It's like he's got no shooting. I'm going to have 2 clear turns of shooting. I can clear out a lot of the Black Nuns. I've got 13 shots. I should be killing about 2 to 3 a turn. Over 2 turns of complete unabated shooting with him just making up the distance, walking towards me. 0 kills. Nothing. Needing 4s to hit, 5s to wound. Nothing. From 26 shots. During the game as well, didn't get a single kill with a throwing weapon in the entire game either. Considering I've got Dalamir plus 6 Corsairs as well. And I won quite a lot of roll-offs. He won almost all the priorities. I kept winning the roll-offs. However, the game basically hinged on... It was quite even. We had 2 turns of combat. It was relatively even. He'd probably slightly outkilled me. But I was setting myself up how I wanted. And it came down to... I'd set up a turn where I would be able to get Dalamir into Gorbag. I'd be able to get Raza into the Mouth of Sauron. And I'd be able to get my captain and Suladan into a mightless Witch King. And I'd waterfall them, and I was going to call a move with the captain, and if I win that move off, they all go whoop, the whole line, and I get and I think I take all his heroes off the board in the same turn. And we even called it, we went, this roll-off's going to decide the game here. And he won it. And from that moment, I had killed 12 of his models and he'd killed 14 of mine. He only had 40 models, I had 40 models, I need 9 to break him. We had 3 more turns in that game. I didn't kill a model. And bear in mind, I've got Dalamir fighting troops that are just there to hold him up. He beats them and wounds them on 5s, re-rolling all fails. I've got Raza, 3 attacks, Bane of Kings, again just fighting troops. I should be killing. And everything from that moment in the game that could go against me, just did everything. I almost didn't win a fight for the next 3 turns. And the game ended. And he did a very clever play in the final turn because he did win the final 3 turns of move-offs. After that, he black darted my one guy that was holding up a Black Numenorian that was blocking his way to get through a doorway to get to my relic. Black darted him, it went off, and he then walked through the door and picked it up. So it was 10-0 because he had 6 for holding it, 3 for breaking me, and 1 for killing a hero. And that was it. But it was like, I should have won that game. That felt like a good matchup. I should have reduced his numbers with a bit of shooting. When he came in, I was planning on slingshotting my cavalry round with a heroic combat. I did that, but then I lost the move-offs that meant they got compelled back and killed. And it was like, if I win that move-off, that game is mine. And yeah.
It doesn't sound like you did anything wrong, though.
No.
I think you're quite honest with, if you make a mistake and you can spot something, you can do it different next time.
Yeah.
That just lose 3 roll-offs in a scenario where you've got to get somewhere.
Yeah.
It's hard.
The one thing is, in that game, I was pretty damn good on my courage tests, which, considering there's all about numbers alive, but I was hoping more of them should have been dead from the shooting. It was just one of those. It was just one of those where I'm happy with how I played it, set it up quite right. I'm just got done by my own dice. Not even his. His weren't hot. His first 2 attempts at casting with the Witch King, he rolled a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1, and he was bemoaning his luck. And it's like, just wait, mate. Here we go. Don't worry about it. It'll come back to you. But there we go. Lovely opponent, and we had a fantastic. The game finished quite quick after that because he just murdered me. As I say, I got no kills after that. So he went from. I think we had an hour on the clock when it finished, so we chatted for like 45 minutes. What a guy! So thank you, Alexander, for a lovely game. And he was cheering me on throughout the rest of day 2. Then the following day, just trying to check out I was all right and all this because I was a bit down after that game because it was a really feel bad game, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like if I'd have finished the day 3-1, I'd have felt pretty good going into day 2. But then being 2-2 with a major loss, a minor loss, 2 minor wins, it's like I'm out of the running now. That's it, done. So
we didn't speak about your expectations, but you were like top 10. You want to win it, right? That's where you wanted to be. You needed that 3-1.
So I wanted to compete for the win of it. Absolutely. My minimum expectation is I wanted top 25 to try and get a score over 90 for the GBHL. I knew my list was off meta. I knew it wasn't perfect. Without legacies as well, it's hampered. But yeah, my expectation was, I thought, I'm good enough player to overcome some of these things and get the most out of it. But that game was just one of those there was nothing I could do. As soon as he won that roll-off, the dice for the rest of the game were just firmly against me. So, yeah, well. But anyway, we had because it ended quite late, I drove back with Aidan, and you guys did the quiz. And we went into day 2. How did you get on in round 5?
Yeah, we did the quiz, but I went home
before you tell me about round 5, what were your expectations then going into day 2 after your incredible day 1? Because we were all buzzing for you. The whole team was so proud.
I wanted to win it. I was pretty chilled. I slept really well. I messaged my wife. I was like, you know what? If someone beats me, they're going to have to work damn hard because I'm giving everything.
You understand.
I went home early from the quiz. I didn't get drunk. I'm prepped. I've done really well. I don't feel like I've been particularly lucky or unlucky. I think the dice was about even, and that felt good. But when I woke up, I said to Johnny, I was like, well, Johnny was like, no, you're going to win it. Like, I'm rooting for you. I want you, like, you should do it. And I was like, yeah, why not? I was chilled. I was like, I shouldn't be here.
Yeah,
like, I shouldn't be that high up. So why not just try and enjoy it and do my best? So, got drawn against the guy who won it the previous year, Adrian
Lockett.
Lockett?
Probably Lockett, yeah.
Yeah, Minnesmorgul. Felby's 3 captains. I know Minnesmorgul really well. I was the top player on Longshanks about a year ago. And it's pretty good for me, that list, to play against, because it's a lot of D4. There were no Morannons. And it was hold ground. And we did the roll-off. And the big joke is that I always lose that initial roll-off and I come on first. But I rolled a 6. And I couldn't believe it. Yeah. He came on first. He rolled 6, 6, 6, 3 and spent a might. I then rolled 6, 6, 6 for my warbands.
Wow.
So he was on one side, like the right of me, and then I was just in front of me with the middle. There was decent terrain, so I could get in the middle from my area. He could get in the middle for his. So we got there. He had a drum. He got there a little bit before me. He was, you know what? He was lovely to play. Again, super competitive, really like high stakes, but we were having a laugh as well, and we were being very like clear with what we were intended, and his spells and his fell beast where it was and line of sight. Got to the middle. Blazes Head's really bad against elves. When I played as Minnesmorgul, I never really had a problem against Rivendell, but seeing it from the other side, I thought I'd have it. So we got to the middle, and it went pretty brutal. He killed a lot of my models. My shooting killed nothing. I think I failed a couple of Wrath of Brunins as well. So he was stood up and he was outnumbering me, and he was killing me on 5s. And it got to the point where I was like, I've got my Mega Ardacon, and this in press games, when it's gone off Lucky, has like brought it back from the brink. So I was killing the odd few, but I was probably matching him, and I think he had 52 models to my 30. So it's going bad. So I was like, I'm playing top player here. You know, let's make this a minor loss. Let's try and do my best. But so we had a map for the whole ground, so we knew exactly where it was. And I thought this was quite clever. I set it up so that I was just on the edge of it. All right.
Yeah.
So that all of his models came in, so that when I did the Mega Wrath, I got as many models as I possibly could, because he wanted them all in the middle.
Of course he did.
And it worked. He forgot, or he, didn't prepare for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, overlooked it. And I did the Wrath, and I bet I don't know, whatever the maximum number of models that you can get within that. Well, it's 3 inches, isn't it, from a point?
Yeah.
So that circle of Mega Wrath of Brunin goes off on a 3, kills on a 4. I killed 13 models, 15 models.
Wow.
It was hot.
Best one you've ever had?
Up there with the one against you. How many did I kill then? About 9.
9 or 10, yeah.
And it broke him. So he was broken, I was broken, and we had a similar resource. And then the dice turned, and it all started going my way. I won the next roll off. I put Bilbo on the Witch King, so didn't get the Will of Evil, or whatever it is. Didn't lose a will because I put the ring on to go through his lines, but I tagged him up. Then my Wrath of Brunin went off, and I knocked everything on the floor, but I just couldn't get through on the Witch King with Elrond. So I killed everything. He still had more in the middle, but if it ends on a 1-2 because I was broken the previous turn. If it goes on 1 turn, I've got 4 foresight left. And Elrond is stood next to the Witch King, who's got 1 or 2 will left. It might have been 1 will. He would dead. He'd used a couple of fate as well. So I'm setting this up that it ended on the 1-2 straight away. I rolled it. I was gutted because I had him.
If it goes
one more turn, the Witch King. Yeah, we rolled the priority, and I'd won it anyway. So I'd have tagged up the Witch King, I'd have tagged up his captains, and I'd have left everything else, and they'd have run away.
100%.
And then I'd have had more in the middle, because I think he had 4 more in the middle. 4 more in the middle. And I think it goes, what did I lose? Was it 5-3 or something like that? I think it'd have been an 18-1 win.
Yeah.
But I'd lost 5-3 to the guy who won it the previous year.
Wow. Still a hell of a performance, hell of a game by the seams of it.
That's the best I played. Because I know the loot game, we spoke strategy for that.
Are you almost replacing that loot game then, as this was your most impressive almost victory?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should have been.
You can play perfectly, you can play really well and still lose. It's our life.
Yeah, well done.
But I did, and it went bad, right? And I came up with a plan, and the plan worked. It would just, if it goes on one more turn, like the game against you, against Nat, against the Men of the West player, they all finished on the first one, and if it carries on, it becomes a huge victory. And normally I play evil, so I want to roll the 1-2 for it to end, because if I'm broken, everything's gone. But when you're playing elves with +1 courage, I just want the game to go on and on.
Keep going. The game comes to you and it goes away from evil players. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So it was a shame. I spoke to him after, and he said he was really impressed with me doing it with this list. He didn't think it was a meta list. I said I played it perfectly. I set up everything. You call them avenues, he called them something else.
Yeah.
But it was like a really good tactical game, and I was really proud of myself. I was so close to being on table 1 the next game.
Oh well, unlucky.
That's where he was.
Yeah. Good effort and good game though. And then sadly we have to come on to mine, which is so I thought that game round 4 at the end of day 1 hurt, but it was this next one that was the icing on the cake. So I drew Dragons of the North, Moria with double dragon. So they had 2 Breathe Fire dragons, one of which had fly. And we did the Maelstrom. I lost the Maelstrom, but then proceeded to roll 5, 6, 5, 5. Decent. So I set up my army. I had this crazy checkerboard formation, no anti-fly zone. Everyone in like threes in triangles with more than 2 inches between any other triangle. So he had no breathe fire options other than trios of people. And all my heroes were stood by themselves with no one within 2 inches of them. So it was like, if you want to target hero, you're getting nothing else. And he came on the board. He rolled a 6, but then followed by a 2. So he had one on one end of the board and one on the other. And I'm over here on the right, down the whole line. And because his leader was the one that didn't have fly, I thought I'm going to go hard at that one and commit everything towards it and try and tag it up and hold it in place and stop him getting to the middle. And I did a bit of shooting. I had a few crossbows spread out. I got the Breathe Fire Fly Dragon, the red one it was. I managed to get 2 wounds off that with a bit of shooting over 2 or 3 turns. He failed his fate and passed his 2 courage tests, no problem. I did the same to his other dragon, his leader dragon. I managed to get 2 wounds on that one over a couple of turns, and he passed his fate on that as well. But essentially, going into combat, both dragons were on 5 wounds, no fate, before combat started. And I was so happy with our setup. I thought, I've really got you here. He went into this like field with fences, with goblins behind his dragon, obviously not wanting me to just target his goblins and break him. And he wanted the dragon to take the charge, but instead it made 2 little choke points where I could just hold up the entire goblin horde with like 1 guy on each side. And then it meant that I could put everything into the dragon. So I sent, because Suladan was the only one that could reach, I thought, he don't mean anything to me in the game really, Suladan, other than the fact he's a banner here. I need to go hard. I've already contested a move, which I've now won. He's down to 2 might. I need to go in. So I sent him in and thought I'll strike, needing a 5 or a 6 to even match him. And I trapped him, surrounded him, loads of dice, the lot. And I struck up. I rolled the necessary 5 I needed to get up to 8 with him. He didn't bother calling a defence because he just assumed that I won't get the strike, which normally I don't get. And we both roll a 6, and the roll-off goes to him. And weirdly, he doesn't kill Suladan, he goes for the other guys, all the guys around him. I think he was getting rid of the ones around the back that were trapping him. And the other dragon did 1 breathe fire when it first came on the board, hit my captain and 2 crossbows and made them on fire. killed one crossbow. But then, because his leader dragon was in trouble, he didn't do any breathe fires for the rest of the game. He just legged it with that dragon across the entire length of the board to try and get to his leader to help him. So the following turn, I get Suladan and Dalamir into his leader dragon and trap him again. And I stroke up again with Dalamir. And for once, very rare for me, and throughout this game, I rolled a 5 or a 6 on every strike. Or no, a 3 or more on every strike. I rolled a 5. I am fight 9. I've got it trapped. I've got Dalamir, I've got Suladan, I've got riders, I've got 2 riders in there with lances, +1 to wound as well. I've got Serpent Guard in there with reroll 1s. I've got it trapped. Dalamir's +1 to wound. And he called a defence with his 5 wounds left. He's now got 0 might remaining on this leader dragon. Rolls a 6 on his 4 dice. I then proceed to roll 14 dice and get a 5 high. Both my heroes with a might on them get a 4 high. So I can't even might it to a 6. So he wins the fight, barges them away, barges Dalamir with his fight 9 away, and then barges into Suladan and kills him. So that's a might point off the board as well. And the red dragon's getting closer, but I've set him a trap here because I put Raza at the edge of some woodland. And I made this red breathe fire dragon my target for the fight 6. So the following turn, I win a move off with the captain, and I get Raza into his breathe fire fly dragon. Dalamir goes into his leader dragon. I strike up again with both of them. I've trapped both of them. It's okay. Suladan died. I've still got it here. I've got a chance still. That is now 1 roll off that's gone against me. I've not rolled a 6 on 14 dice. I'm still setting up right. I've got him. His goblins are doing nothing. They're completely out of the fight. They can't get involved. I strike up. I roll a 5 and a 6 with both Dalamir and Raza on the strikes in both combats. Both fights have got 12 dice each. He rolls a 6 on 4 dice and rolls a 6 on 4 dice with both dragons. I roll a 5 high with 12 dice and a 5 high with 12 dice. And he then kills Dalamir and kills Raza. Sorry, he didn't kill Raza, weirdly. He killed one of the other guys, all the guys around him. So he gave me another chance, weirdly. So the following turn, I get Raza in again. I think, all I want to do now is just kill 1 dragon. Please, just let me kill 1 of them. Raza goes in, traps them again, strikes up, rolls a 6. He's fight 9 again. 12 dice this time. 10 dice, sorry. 10 dice this time. He's got 4 dice, rolls a 6 on his 4 dice again. 10 dice, 5 high again. And the guy is just apologising to me. It's like, I've had 5 attempts there. And
I'd be gutted for you. If I was the dragon player, I'd feel bad for you. It's like, you've done everything right.
I had Jamie Wiggins stood over us for like 2 turns and watched me do that. 12 dice 5 high, 12 dice 5 high, 10 dice 5 high. And he just went, I should walk away now, mate. Yeah, this is. I think I'm your bad luck charm. And basically, Ned was a great opponent, really nice. He played dragons in quite an engaging way, not the horrible way. He only did the 1 breathe fire at the start of the game. It was fine. I don't mind dragons as long as you're not breathe firing with them. It was just, I couldn't believe my bad luck on it. And at the end of the game, he destroyed me then, and I ended the game with like 2 Serpent Guard on the board, and that was it. He just cleaned up after that. I think he had 1 fight in the entire game where he didn't roll a 6 with his dragons, and they barely were charging. They were only on 4 dice nearly the entire game. And he felt sorry for me so much so that he was trying to break himself just to give me a VP to be nice to me. And he was telling me, oh no, my guy's trapped here. And I went, he's not trapped. And he went, no, just roll another dice. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And I only needed 1 model to break him. And over like 3 turns, and he wasn't even like ganging up on me as he should have been. He was leaving me like 1-on-1s and stuff. And saying, oh, no, I'm trapped. Like, you're not trapped. Roll another dice. No, it's roll another dice. I still didn't kill him. It's like, he was doing his best to give me a VP out of pity. And I still couldn't do it.
As if you're getting pity, mate.
That one hurt. That one really hurt.
Good job that wasn't top table. You know, if you were on table 1 at the end of the tournament and that happened, you'd be fuming.
Yeah, I was absolutely furious, but not at him. I still stayed nice with him, and we had a really lovely chat. Nice guy. He was great, but Yeah, to go then, I was then 2-3. Atrocious. And that should have been I lost 23. That game should have been a 20-0 to me. It shouldn't have even been close. I definitely outplayed him, had him trapped in, had him exactly where I wanted. Everything in the game plan worked, and just got betrayed by my inability to roll a 6 on 10 plus dice 5 times. So there you go. Anyway, that was it. So get on to round 6. Here you go.
Round 6 was domination against Pierre Sommer, I want to say.
You just talk, by the way. I am just next to you here. I just need to do something 1 second. But tell everyone about your game.
Yeah, so Pierre was the winner of the doubles event that Adam and Jacob played in. So another player with pedigree. Although they won it with dragons, so I don't know. But it was obviously another good player that I've come up against and what I wanted to play. And he brought Khazad Doom, but it was a full Khazad Doom list. He had Durin, he had a Vault Warden team, he had 11 Dwarf Rangers, Iron Guard, and then Shield Dwarfs, which I can't remember the name of, but the basic ones. I think he had 38 models. He outshot me. He had 8 more models than me. He had a lot. It was domination, and I put on my side of the board. There was some trees, so I put the objectives in the trees. But I lost the roll off, and he swapped board sides. We were on the lowly depths of table 12, which I was a bit gutted about being so low, Adam. So quite competitive. He swapped sides, and he set up so that all his bows were like hidden behind a fence.
To be fair, you never got below like table 25 in the whole thing, did you?
I don't think so.
No. Whereas I started on table 12 and quickly went to like table 80 and stayed around 60 to 80 all the way through.
I've got it up here. So the lowest table I was on was 17.
Well.
Yeah. So he set up in quite an odd way, I thought. So he wanted to stand back and shoot me. And I play Arwen like in this scenario like I do for Retrieval. She's there to get the objectives at the end of the game. So I set up on the halfway line. I was like, right, I'm going to play super aggressive. I'm not going to put any bows at the back because they'll just get shot out and I'll hide them behind my shield and spears. He set up during 6.5 away on his own with his warband, and he set another one up on the one of the objectives in the trees out the way. So I had my entire force near Jorin's force, so I had way more models there. So I moved up, and I didn't want him to back away and just keep shooting me from the flank with his bows. So I set up, I moved up, so I was like 2 inches away from him. So feed him a couple of troops, and he did it. He put Durin in, he put a few guys in. He shot in from the side. I think he killed 3 elves, and then Durin combated and killed 4 elves. I won the other fights. So I was down like 7 models straight away. But in the middle, I had 23 models, and he had, let's call it 15. So I won the next roll off, and this game, my Wrath of Brunins were hot. I rolled a 6 on every single Wrath of Brunin spell, and he were gutted. Elrond goes in.
I never said this when we were discussing the doubles. It took until our 5th game of 6 rounds for me to successfully roll a casting roll on a Wrath of Brunin. I wish I'd have had that. Yeah, that'd have been great.
Yeah, and this was one of the rare times where I thought I've got to go for the hero because he'd used a might already. He didn't have much might in the middle. It was all on the flanks that were going to come in, but I had maybe 2 turns. And I thought, I'm going to risk it here. So Elrond goes in, get a 6. He throws everything to resist it. 4 high. No, he threw 2 at it. 4 high. Spent the might to resist it. Arwen comes in. 2 dice. 6. Durin fails. Bilbo puts the ring on. Elrond gets in him. I tag up all his guys. Smash. Durin's gone.
Brilliant. That's a satisfying one. Well done. Yeah, nice play.
His captain comes in from one side. His king comes in from the other side. I slingshot Arwen and the 2 Cav to the guys in the trees because Aslos got woodland creature, so I can still get the knockdown. And I take out that warband. And then the following turn, I combat with Arwen round the back. So when these guys come, I've got Arwen on one side, Elrond on the other. They're fully protected, so that I use my foresight. I think I rolled a 5 in this game. Give him priority, charges in. I Rafa Brune in. Everything's on its butt. I killed a Vault Warden Shield D9 model on a 6x6 Rafa Brune. I know. I tell you, it was hot. So I've gone from being 7 models down now to he's starting to panic.
Yeah,
and he'd played the scenario too soon. He'd sent an Iron Guard onto one on my back one, and he sent 2 bows onto one on the other one on my side, and then he had like 7 on one, and I'd wiped one out. I'd wiped out the middle, and he wasn't. I think he'd broken by that point, but Khazad-dûm's got quite good courage. Yes, so then I could combat with Arwen and Elrond and Lindir to spread out. And I remembered that he had Dominant too on all his models that were basic guys. And then I quartered him without breaking, which was amazing from being 7 models down at the start. And yeah, I got another heavy win. What was it? 12-5 win. He looked gutted.
That's a very impressive victory to beat Khazad-dûm because of that Dominant. That's one of their best scenarios, is that as well.
And Khazad-dûm trade really well with elves. It's really tough. Every practice game I've had, I've beat them. I beat all the dwarfs I've played, but it's always tough. I normally lose the battle line.
Yeah.
Which is why I just went super aggressive. I think it was a slight error.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, I had to mix. Yeah, I always think like when you mix up your play style to adapt to the game, like that's what you're there for, right? You don't just do the same thing every game, and it works. So yeah, I beat him. So that was all in his favour, but the dice probably went my way overall. No, they definitely did. So another major win against a top player.
Yeah, nice. So then you're 5-1 at that point.
5-1.
For me, I got drawn against Jim Ryden, who's a Swedish guy. Now, you always say that you don't like the nameless horde armies. One of the armies that I don't think it's a meta or oppressive or horrible or anything, and it's quite beatable in a lot of ways. But the thing I most don't like drawing, just because it's always a boring, dull game, is I've got Ents at Domination, and they basically just walk in and then stand there for the entire game. And if they roll 6s, they do well. If they don't roll 6s, they die. It's always a very, very boring game. And Jim was a nice, friendly guy, but his English was surprisingly for a Swedish person not incredible. So we didn't really talk through the game unless we had to for deciding what we're doing. I set all the Sanat things as far away as possible because I know his mobility is a disadvantage and he's easy to tag up and hold in position. We went to the middle of the board. I'm holding all the objectives, and I quickly killed 2 unnamed trees. I did a heroic strike combat with Suladan Dalamir, the captain, and just flew into 3 Ents and killed 3 in quick succession. So he's just left with Treebeard and Beachbone immediately that are on 3 might each, but the rest are dead. And then he's spending the entire game doing Merry Pippin, throwing stones at Dalamir. And I keep failing fate, and eventually I'm down to 1 wound, no fate with Dalamir. And it's like, I wanted him to go in and deal with one of these 2, but I can't. So I ended up having to run him away and hide him in some trees on one of the objectives. And he did his best to try and run away once I broke. I spent all his will and remaining might just to keep him on the board. He failed a courage test, I think, 3 turns running, and I luckily could spend 1 resource each time to make him pass. He was being a prick, or trying to be. But I was shooting into... I kept just tagging up Treebeard with 1 guy and then shooting into the combat and killing my own guy. But I put so many flipping shots into Treebeard, and he's down to 1 wound, no fate. And I thought, I've been in this situation before, and it did cost me a 90 win where I ended up coming 2nd place because I didn't have high enough VPs. Because I should have 20-0 somebody and I got like a 4-0 win because flipping Treebeard refused to not roll a 6 on 4 dice. And I thought, you know what? Bugger it. No, I'm going to back away and just shoot him. And I'll get that final wound off him. And instead, over like 5 or 6 turns of shooting at this one wound tree beard, just categorically could not wound him. Could not get that final wound off him. Then he breaks me with Beachbone, who still just keeps rolling sixes. And he's killed my captain. He killed Raza. He's killed Suladan. My captain's run away with a double one, as per usual. My guy's run away off an objective. It's like, no way am I losing this game to ends. It's not happening, is it? And he's holding 2 objectives. Luckily, one crossbowman that's completely isolated by himself passes on a 72% and then goes and takes one back from me. So I hold 3. He holds 1 and we're contesting the middle. And I just outnumber him 4 models to 3 on it. And luckily, 4 of the 5 pass courage tests to stay around. So I managed to get the win 11-7. But if I don't contest that middle one, he would have gained 3 VPs and I would have lost one. It'd have been a 10-all draw. It's like, no way did I almost lose that. But it's just boring to play against. It was just, Treebade just could not stop rolling sixes. I think he fluffed 1 fight and I got him down to the 1 wound, no fate, and that was it. It's like, I hate
There's
him.
2 games where it's
so
all monsters, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just think if you had Bold, he'd have gone in and smashed those.
Yeah, he'd have loved it. Yeah.
But that's such janky list, isn't it? Dragons and then Ents.
Yeah, going into the last round, all I wanted was just give me a normal game so I can play a normal game today. Because I've just faced... I killed 7 models in my first 2 games in day 2 across total. So going into round 7, you were in contention for some big scores. How did that go?
I was on table 6.
Table 6. So you could have been fighting for like 3rd, 4th place if you'd have won it.
Yeah, I'd had only a minor loss and 3 major wins and 1 minor win. So going into it, were contest of champions. I've never lost a contest of champions in this edition. I think I'm 7-0. I think I said it last time I was on your podcast. I'm pretty good at it. Elrond's pretty good. I drew Shadows of Angmar with Gullivar as the champion and 3 Barrow wights and a captain. Now, he didn't have that many models. I think it was 42.
What would you like to title this episode? You said at the start before we came on.
Yeah, something like F Barrow wights.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, so a tough matchup. Lindia was mainly taken in case I got Barrow wights. So I get resistance to magic on everyone. All my heroes were within 3 inches of him. Elrond gets a free one as well. So when he's been targeted, he's got a better chance of resisting. It was tough. So turn 1, I think I got priority and I gave it him because I didn't want to put Elrond somewhere and then he'd be on his bottom straight after and he was protected. So he backed up, so he couldn't really do much. I then moved up, so I was in position. So next turn, I was never going to cast a Wrath of Bruin in this game because I had to keep all my resource. Shot a few bows, nothing killed. Next turn, priority, he got it, he gave it me. I thought, I'm going to have to go in because if he just keeps backing up, I'm tired, I've played 7 games. It's a slight advantage if I go second. So I put Elrond on a model, but he was safe from Gullivar.
Yeah.
If he went down. So I did it. So all my heroes were protected. I had my anti-fly zone from your episode that I'd rewatched in the build-up to this. And yeah, 2 dice with the Barrow wights. 2 dice, got a 6. I threw my 2 free ones and 1 other. Got a 4. Spent 2 might. The next one did it, got a 5. I spent my free one and my last will. I got a 4. So I spent my last might. He then failed his 3rd one. So Elrond was alive. Gullivar went and ate a model. I combated with Elrond. I failed the combat. He didn't kill them. I didn't win the fight. He got a shield. That round, he was rolling those spider dice that came out with the Spider Queen.
Yeah.
And I've got those dice. They do roll hot. But his basic orcs had to get 6s to kill me, and I was winning on draws. I think round 1 he'd killed 6, 1 from Gullivar to my 0. And that was calling I called it combat not with Elrond. I called it with Lindia, but Elrond was in the combat.
Yeah,
because I had to get the kills on the board. The next turn, I get quite lucky with the Barrow wights. The spells that do go off, I manage to resist with my free resource, and then he fails. I think he failed 2, or he failed 1, and I just got lucky. That rolled. I didn't roll any 6s, but neither did he, and I resisted all the spells. But all my resource was gone. He also moved on. He targeted Arwen, so she'd used most of her resource, so I couldn't rush a Bruin with her. I think he made a slight mistake here, where he put Gulliver into a position, and because I'd left the anti-fly zone, I could move Elrond and Bilbo around, and there was a model right next to Gulliver that could get Lindir, Bilbo with the ring on, and Elrond on. And no, I didn't. I must have called a combat with Bilbo earlier. Can't quite remember how it all happened, but this combat, I'm next to Gulliver, right? So I call a combat because I can get on him, and I think he's going to call a defense because that's the move, because I can get Bilbo with a ring on, Elrond and Lindir, plus the model that's already on it.
Then who did you call the combat with?
I think it must have been Lindir. It was definitely Lindir, so I must have used Bilbo's might and the early combat. I'm getting confused. And Lindir's right next to Gulliver. And he didn't call a defense, he called a combat. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, I didn't see that coming, because we're on table 6. Why would he risk the tournament on a 50-50 roll-off? If mine goes off, Gulliver's dead. Almost 100%, unless I do an Adam and I roll terribly. He doesn't have the monstrous charge. No, he did. He had the monstrous charge, but so he's got 5 dice, and I've got a load of dice. Lord of the West banner. I thought if he called a defense, then I'd probably send Elrond onto a Barrow wight that was next to him, and if I killed him, I'd get a might back. But he called the combat, and we rolled the dice, and this was the one bad luck I got all weekend, of like real bad luck.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, I think it was pretty 50-50. I was a little bit lucky in the previous game, but the big roll-off, the big one, I lost it. Gulliver ate the guy, and then he ate Lindir, and he got a might back, and I had no might, and Gulliver had 2, and the game went pretty bad there. And what he kept doing is 1 dice in Elrond, who didn't have any resource now, knock him prone and tag him up. And then Gulliver went and killed Arwen. Bilbo kept failing his ring check, and he just kept moving him away. And my Mega Wrath went off. I had a bunch of models again. I think I got 13, 12 maybe this one. Killed 1. So it was like the opposite of previous games, but I probably had it a little bit lucky in the other ones.
Yeah.
But I just think it's the big game. It's the one that really matters. And nothing popped off for me. He broke me. I didn't break him. I think I was 2 or 3 off. He didn't kill Elrond. So I didn't lose Elrond all weekend. I was happy with that. But it was quite a heavy loss. I was trying to stop it being a 20-0. I think it was 18-1. Can't quite remember what I got the 1 for. 18-3. Can't remember what I got a point for. Do you get points for banners? No, you don't.
Don't think so in contest, no. Killing hero? No. Killing champions? No.
I don't know. Well, it was a major loss, and it was a shame to finish on that, but I was super proud of how I'd done.
Yeah.
Ultimately, did reflect.
Weekend. It was brilliant.
Yeah, he was very good, and again, done in very good spirit. We were having a good laugh throughout it, despite my awful dice and his horrible list.
It is. We're saying good spirit.
Reflected quite.
We're saying good spirit, but he did bring 3 Barrow wights.
Yeah, now I know you want to talk about that list briefly, but I think, let's talk about that list, because I know you're not a fan of it. I've played it. I've never taken 3 Barrow wights. That is rank. It's horrible.
I actually really like Gulliver and his profile and how glass cannon he is, because that's my sort of model, like the high ceiling, low margin for error. I love that sort of model. It's just everyone's insistence that you must have Barrow wights, and I kind of get it. But just because somebody has something big, you don't have to deal with it by killing it. My list this weekend was fight 6 at best, or lower. I had no answer to a fight 8 big thing. But I've still beaten Ents, I've still beaten Bjornings, and it's like this, you can still play around that and win the scenarios. Shadows does not... There's more reason to have a Barrow wight in Shadows list than Host of the Witch King. I think Host, you don't have them at all. But 3,
I don't think
you know what you're doing. You're a one-trick pony, and that's your only game plan, and that it's really crap for your opponent.
Yeah, I think it's a shame I got that scenario, because I think this is what I was thinking when I was laying in bed last night. I was like, any of the other 6 scenarios, I think I beat it.
Yeah.
I think I've got the mobility, I've got the shooting, tactically I can position so that I protect Elrond and I can get Gulliver when he comes in if I want to roll off. Ending the tournament on Contest of Champions it didn't feel good, because it's a lot of the time it's kind of decided before the game who's probably going to win.
Yeah.
I don't like those scenarios.
There's
where
usually a clear advantage, isn't there? Yeah.
Yeah, and when I played so well and had average luck, I'd say, but nothing to complain about other than the 6s on that one game. Nothing really to shout about, and I think I'm quite fair when I am lucky. So for it to end that way on a roll off is very in keeping with my season this year, and it meant I went quite far down in the ranking. I think I finished 32nd or something like that, and from how well I'd played and how well I'd done.
It doesn't
I'm
feel
super
like
proud
a fair
of
reflection, does it? The final standing.
No, but this is what I say to my wife every time I come back from a tournament. I've played really well, and it's not reflected how I've done. Yeah, I still feel like that, and that almost feels a little bit good as well, because I came here hoping to finish in the top 100, and I've comfortably done that.
Yeah, you know how close you were. If you win that roll off and kill Gulliver, you win the game, and you
I'll probably win it 20-0.
Yeah.
He finished 6th. But I had slightly better major. I had more points at that point, so I might have been 5th. I might have been 6th. That would have been amazing. So yeah, no disappointment, no regrets. I loved it. Even that game, losing it, it's a dice roll. What can I do? I set it up, did everything I could.
Set it up correctly.
So yeah, so I'm not complaining. It wasn't the most fun way to end a tournament, but there we go.
Yeah. For me, I actually led into my best moment of the tournament for me, which was I drew Lewis Thompson with a Fornos list. He made Glorfindel his champion, and I thought this was a bad matchup, but then I thought, actually, I've got a plan here. I'll make Suladan my champion, because he's got 3 will to resist Cédan a bit, because he had Glorfindel in a Cédan. I thought, if I pick Dalamir, I need Dalamir really to be left alone to kill elves, or I can send him into his champion and call a heroic defence, and that can just stop him killing for a couple of turns.
Yeah.
And I thought, I don't pick the captain, I don't pick Raza. Raza's going to try and go after his Cédan, and this is the game plan. And also, if I really need to, I can shoot into combat. So if Cédan's blowing my champion out of combat, I'll shoot into his champion's combat, and we'll cancel each other out a bit that way. But hopefully I can resist at least a couple of turns with Sullivan and get a few kills. Now, the bad thing was I rolled a 1-2-3 for Dalamir, so he ended up at the back of the board. So I couldn't do my heroic defence plan. And all my crossbows ended up at the back of the board. So I thought, all right, plan A is not available to me. Plan B, we're going to shoot into Glorfindel's combats instead. So he won the first priority and was very surprised that I didn't contest it with him. But I'd set up this beautiful lane avenue with like 4 guys. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it, but that's how I do Assault on Lothlorien at this scenario. Yeah. It's like, set it all up and then open it all up for your bows as soon as they come in.
So I set it up like quite a big line, so it looked like I'd engage him normally, like I'm going to lose to him, obviously, that way. But I set up this line of 4 guys parallel to each other with Suladan at the end of it. So no matter how many people he put in, there's no way he could tag enough control zones to get to Suladan, but Suladan can definitely go through that himself. So I let him come on to me, and he charged Glorfindel. He said, "I'll just put him into 1 Harad just to make sure he gets a kill." And it's like, mate, you don't know what's happening here, do you? So Suladan went in with a captain into 1 knight that had charged, so it's fight 5. So I call a combat strike with Suladan and the captain, and I think like 4 guys. I did my normal thing where I fully surround it. I shot into. I opened it up, moved everyone out of the way, so there was a clear shot into Glorfindel's combat. Wait for it. 13 shots, 2 hits, needing 4s. Fantastic. Both of them hit Glorfindel, none of them hit me. And I got 1 wound on Asphaleth, who passed the fate and survived. And it was like, oh, so he's getting a kill then. But because I'd opened it up so much, I then suddenly realised, crap, he could actually combat through my line here, because I was just so sure that I would kill my own guy. Yeah. So he did call a combat, killed that guy, and then wrapped round into one of my space supports and killed that guy, and he's on 2 kills. I called my strike combat like I did. And I thought, well, actually, Ian is a bit exposed here. If Suladan rolls well enough here with his strike, I'll send him into Aina, actually, and trap him. Roll a 1. So I'm only fight 6, so I thought, I can't do that then. I win the fight against the knight. I then have a trapped knight, 6 dice with Suladan, needing 5s, re-rolling 1s. I rolled all 3s and 2s. All 3s and 2s on 6 dice. It's like, I hadn't even got a kill here, and I've spent a might for a strike, and I've spent a might on the captain for the combat. Went into 1 elf with him, killed the elf, thank God, so I got 1 kill. But then I'm 2-1 behind. Gives me 3 moves after that, which is good. Dalamir moves up the board. Glorfindel, I then do shoot into his combat and kill his guy, thank God, this time. Dalamir then gets up the board the next turn, and I think, right, I want to move off. I sent Dalamir into Glorfindel.
Back in a minute.
Yeah.
You keep going, mate. Sorry, my wife's just...
Yeah. So I sent Dalamir into Glorfindel. And I had a big decision to make as do I call a heroic defence or not? And if I call the defence, it gives me another might point for the following turn to do the same, and it stops him getting any kills. But I thought, I've charged him. He's got 3 dice. No banner, just the Lord of the West. So he's got 4. And he's only got 3 dice to wound. Lord of the West means it's more like 4 dice. So I elected with Dalamir to not call a heroic defence. Because I charged him, I thought, he's not going to kill me this turn. But then he rolls a 6 on his 4 dice with Lord of the West. And then rolls to wound me and rolls 2 4s, and then Lord of the West's 3rd one into another 4, and I take 3 wounds. And I then roll 4-2-2 on the fate rolls and have to spend all of Dalamir's might just to stay alive. And it's like, bollocks, I'm dead here, right? Because next turn I've now got no might to contest anything. Because I was banking on saving the might so I could call a move the next turn where he's got no might on the board. And I can call a defence the next turn holding up 2 turns running. But the fact I've now had to spend all my might just to survive. He then wins priority, charges back in. It's like, right, he kills Dalamir, that gets him ahead on kills. Suladan's now been call-winded 5 turns running, and he's sat at the back of the board. Prone. No chance he's getting another kill in the game. And I thought, right, that's the game lost then. Then charging Glorfindel then fluffs his roll on 4 dice charging me. Dalamir gets a 6 on 3, unhorses him and sticks 2 wounds into him with Bane of Kings. He fails his fate, so Glorfindel's now on 1 wound, no fate. I then win the priority the next turn, and the best moment of the whole week, I thought, do I send Dalamir into him or not? I've got Cédan there, I've got some elves, I need to make sure I break him. I send Dalamir in, I thought, you know what, I might just kill him with a throwing weapon. That would be, I deserve some luck after this week. Like, flipping hell, I deserve something here. Rolls a 3 to hit, a 2 on the wound. It's alright, he's got Bane of Kings, and I said to him, I could really do with a lucky 6 here. Flipping lucky 6. Glorfindel's dead, have that.
Nice.
And that was his champion, so he's stuck on 2 kills. I'm still on 2 kills with Suladan. I stand up Suladan, move him 3 inches towards the battle line, finally tag up Cédan so he can't call wins me, and he charged Iana into Suladan to kill him, because that would have meant we get a draw. Sorry, I would have... no, I'd have won by 1. No, it was a draw, yeah, it was a draw. He then this is an Iana on 1 wound, no fate, by the way, because he'd lost a fight to Raza and the captain trapped earlier in the game. That I didn't mention. He then fluffs his 4 dice charging with Iana, rolls a 3 high, I think it was. I got a 5 with Suladan, and I just needed 1 lucky 6. And I rolled, I think, 2 1s and a 5. and then I'd re-roll ones with his serpent weapon thing. Rolled a 6, so I've killed Glorfindel with a throwing weapon in the same turn. Suladan kills Iana, and that gets Suladan an extra kill for for the 4 VPs out getting more than he did, and it also got me the leader kill. So I won the game 6-1, and the guy just checked out. He went, "I've checked out now, mate. You've won the game clearly." I went, "Actually, I don't actually even think there's any VPs for us to even play for. We've got 10 minutes. We could probably complete the game, but there's literally 0 VPs either of us can play for now. So do you want to end it there?" And he was just checked out. He went, "Yeah, and I want to get off. It's fine." And that's it, 4-3. So at least I recovered from some shocking games and managed to 4-3. But
that's really good though. That army at Contest of Champions is great. With Kurdan as well.
To beat
like
it.
You put in your champion and it can.
That was the most satisfying win, definitely. And the Dalamir moment, the throwing weapon kill. Oh, brilliant. So
Where did you finish?
There we go. So I think final thing we should do is look at some of the standings in the list that won, shall we?
Yeah, but where did you finish, Adam?
Exactly 100th.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, not good, not good. It's because I finished on a minus VP difference in the end, so I was still minus 14, despite winning 4-3, because it was 4 minor wins, 2 major losses, and a minor loss. So not great for me. But what were your conclusions? I really enjoyed the event. Thought it was brilliant. Could have been better air conditioned, but it's difficult with a lot of people in the room. I'd like more space between tables. I really hate that. I hate any event where you don't have space at the side. But James did a great job.
The tables I played on were not quite even. I don't know if it was the same where you were. Yeah, in the middle, like most of like a limp like that. And when I say things were done in good spirit,
I don't know if it was like that where you were. How rude! I was not at the same.
I didn't go that low down, you know.
They were the same all over, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just harder to play with when it's like that. But I tried to just try and not engage there. Like I kept joking with my opponent. I was like, "If you agree not to shoot me, I'll just I'll just move this turn." Or we didn't really do anything like that. But so I tried to mitigate it just to avoid it. I think it was awesome. I had such a good time.
Brilliant, yeah. One of the best ones I've ever been to, I'd say, with that. That was just despite my down moments when I needed a pep talk from you, event itself, like the organising of it, I'd maybe change my plans as to how I'd get there, and like I wouldn't, of course, stay at the accommodation that I booked, things like that. But yeah, James done a great job organising all of that, and we're going to go again next year, aren't we?
Yeah, I think I'm going for the whole thing next time. Yeah,
we're going to smash it. So what would you conclude with your army then? Would you change anything with it, or do you think that build is spot on for 700?
I don't think so. Rivendell did finish above me, but I looked at their matchups and they were better matchups than what I got. They sort of lost early and then worked their way up, where I was competing with
at the top,
the very best. I think Rivendell came third. Similar to me, but Elrond's on a horse, no Bilbo, and got 2 more models. I'm going to try that just to see.
Yeah.
How it plays without Bilbo, but I think my list is mega. I think it's so much fun to play, and I felt like in every game, apart from the Gulliver one, so 6 out of 7, I had control.
Yeah.
My opponents had control as well, but I was never out of control. I always had a plan, always had an out. If they had Durin, then I had Bilbo to sort him out. If they had loads of D4, I had Rafa Brunin to sort him out. I could shoot. I had the Knights, I had Arwen. I love my list. Yeah. I normally play Assault on Lothlorien at these big events, and I'd have way more models, and I'd be way more tired. But I think I'm just Rivendell now. I'll just throw the rest of my stuff in the bin.
Seems to suit you. You're playing it really well. So yeah, excited to see how you can do in upcoming events now after this experience. However, your head needs to fit through doorways, so don't do too well.
No, I just play up to it. I was just having fun. I was just wasn't supposed to be there, so enjoy it.
Great surprise and well done.
Yeah, maybe it's changed now. Maybe I will be up there.
Yeah. Big conclusion for me with mine is Grand Eye Mid-South, I still think there's something clearly there and I'm going to persist with it. I think it can win big events, but not with that build that I had. I had no answer to anything Fight 8 or above. Anything big was just a big problem for me. And it needs the legacy stuff. You need the hitting power, and in particular, I love Delamere's profile and you can get a lot out of him even without a caster. But the threat he provides when you have a caster, a bit like you having Bilbo with Elrond sort of thing, it amps the list up so many levels having that threat. So I'm glad I didn't take Kirithon Gold. That would have been a nightmare. It would have been so much worse. I think quite a lot of my early games, I was saying I think Gundabad would have done better. It would have been a better take. But actually in some of the later rounds, especially like the Fornost one, I'd have had no chance against that Fornost at contest. So actually this list was better for that. So I think there was 3 of my 7. I think my list was better. 4 of them, I think Gundabad would have been better. So relatively even. So I'm okay with that choice. I'm glad I didn't pick Pelennor. I wouldn't have done well enough with that. The model count was too low.
No.
So yeah, great event all round there. I'm going to now take us off camera and we're going to look at the lists real quick. Just the top winning ones. So for the doubles world championships that I was in, the 2-day one, we had a Lurtz's Scouts list. Tom Wag and Jonathan Lloyd win that. Pretty basic Lurtz's Scouts list with the inclusion of a shaman now. Host of the Witch King, Arthur Abdeselem and Joe Persil. Host of the Witch King, so this was the one with the crazy number of spectres there. 5 spectres in there, I love that. Barrow wights, sadly, but good list there. And then Dragons of the North sadly won it. I'm not even going to put that on the screen. There you go.
It's all right, I beat him.
And then yours. Let's have a look at your one here. So Jacob Mundin and Lewis Mundin. These are the 2 trees guys with Arno. What do we think of that?
I think Arno's one of the most boring armies to play in the whole game. They've done really well to do it, especially with the double scenarios where you separate, so half the army's not got the Melveth rubbish.
I like the Agadir 4 Knights inclusion at only 700. Like, it gives them a bit of mobility to catch up to this.
I can't see your screen. What do I need to press?
You can't. Of course you can't. Apologies. Let me...
Oh, fine. Don't matter. I just don't like Arno.
You should be able to now. Click it now.
Yeah. But good on them for doing it.
We then had Lewis Thompson that I beat in that contest. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just saying the next 2 are boring.
Yeah. So Lewis Thompson that I beat with the Contest of Champions at the end there with Win Price. They did a Men of the West. Very boring build. Yeah, Great Eagle. And yeah, horrible. Only 17 models. And then these are your Depths of Moria ones that beat you, didn't they? Yeah,
I don't know why they couldn't share their list. That was a little bit frustrating because we couldn't prep for those 15 minutes.
You know what, actually, bringing that up, that's a good bit of feedback to give. There was still no list submitted.
Yeah.
All the way up until tournament starting. Even during the tournament, there was multiple that were like that. I think we'll see it in the other.
So out of those first 2 tournaments we've just been to, the winners have been Dragons and Depths of Moria.
Yeah.
Men of the West Podium.
So moving on then to the actual World Championships here. So you were right, Leo Gobert, the French guy.
We just bring up his games. Just click the arrow to the left of his name. So he beat
Jamie Wiggins, which is a no mean feat, and Khazad-dûm.
That's true.
Lost to Tom Wag, respectable because Tom's a great player. Kalman, a good player, so he's faced some good players. Sean Rosato, very good player. Thomas Seacombe's 100 winner now, so he's faced very strong players. But then maybe the matchups like Army Vedras, that guy's a good player, but it's a crap army. You can beat the Book Scouts, you can beat Minas Morgul. Lost to it. Sean's a good player with an Army Verbo. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's done really well actually.
He has.
But no Barrow wights. Only one.
Getting usurpers at contest was a nice ending, wasn't it, though, for him?
Oh, mate, that'd have been a dream.
Yeah, that's the dream matchup, really, isn't
it? But yeah, still really good.
Yeah, well done, Leo, there, yeah. With Rivendell as well, which is nice to see. Like, you look at the list up here, we look at this top 10, 12. other than the crazy Birders Horde, that's even built it wrong in my opinion, but well done to him.
Amazing that's up there.
Wreck is up there twice in the top 10. Khazad-dûm, no surprise, 5 armies with Bjorn and Legolas. Crap, horrible thing to face. Minas Morgul, Men of the West with the 3 broken models. All of them are what you'd expect. The only real big surprise one there is Rivendell, so well done.
It's Rivendell. Yeah,
White
I think
Hand.
looking at all...
Oh, shall we have a look at it? Yeah. So, as you said,
I was just going to
Bilbo.
say... Yeah, it's Bilbo, he's got a horse and 2 more models. But I think looking at all the winners, it's a little bit disappointing that it's the obvious things that are winning still. It's Tin Men, it's Dragons, it's Depths. Yeah. There's Army of the White Hand that are obviously up there. It's I don't know, it's just one surprise of Rivendell that's done really well.
Yeah.
I just think that's a little bit of a shame that something cooler has not done it on an even, on all 3. I don't know what won the match.
There's a few interesting ones closer here, like that Birders Horde's done well. There's a Wolf Pack there in 13th. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Done very well there. But then you go down a bit further, actually, these are all still lists that you'd expect. There's nothing really that creative.
Our teammate, Jacob, 17th.
Yes, we should talk about this. So team-wise, Alex for us was actually our highest placing player because he got loads of major wins. So he got 16th for us with Minas Morgul. We've got Jacob in 17th with Blackgate. Tom did incredible, by the way. Look at this. 21st with his Erebor Reclaimed. Johnny got 25th with Reclamation. We've got you in 32nd here with your Rivendell. We've got... Got to keep going down for the rest of
it. Harry,
with Ride Out.
Nice.
Got 4-3, 55th place. Well done there. Did fantastic. Harry as well went 4-3 with a Return of the King list with only 17 models. Got 4-3 as well. Did very, very well there. And then I think I'm the one that finished the lowest in the team, which is here. 4-3 minus 14. Yeah. Have that. And Natalie did actually recover a bit in the end. She was the highest of the 3 and 4s at least.
How did we do as a team, Adam?
Well, let's just talk about these 2 lists and then I'm going to save that big reveal. So Adam Howaniak from Poland with only 3 Krabane, which is nice to see, but it's still Army of the White Hand. I think is clearly the best list at 700 points in my opinion. I think it's...
What did he beat at the last scenario? What did he play?
Good question, actually, for contest. So he beat Miramax.
Yeah, okay. So
if
I'd have got either of them, if I'd have got either of them, I'd have had a much better time.
Yeah. And then the winner was Alex Colasante from Mountain Goat Gaming from Australia. Well done to him. Went 7-0 with Reclamation. Johnny, I'm sorry, it is a meta list, mate. 700 points in particular. You sat with 12 might. You've got all this sharing of might, will and fate and stuff. A few Osgiliath veterans is the way to go because they've got better courage to hold objectives for you. 5 knights. Very, very strong list. Very, very good. But then, yes, the big reveal, how we did as a team. Out of all the teams that were in there, there was a total of 34 teams there. 3rd place goes to the age of the meta is over. Our team.
Hey.
So it takes you 4 highest scoring players. And we won it. There was one team that got more VPs than us, but not by much. But on everything else, actual score, we did incredible. So we had a 16th place, 17th, 25th, 32nd. The Australians actually only got 2nd because France had 4 players in the top 20. So
I think I played 2 or 3 of them. I played 2 of them.
Yeah, you played multiple of them, yeah. So there we go. Can't believe they didn't win it with the players that they had on here like this list here. So the French have done well to do that. But yeah, there we go. Fantastic event all round. Anything else you'd like to comment on or call out?
Just going to say that out of the players I played, 6 of them were in the top 60 at the end.
Yeah,
and then one was 227th. So just thought I'd highlight that out.
Was that your Riders Vermeer player from the first game by any chance?
Yeah.
I think I played the guy that came 6th. I played, but I think outside of that, everyone I played were not in the top 20. So they were all beatable games. I've just been done in by dice.
Four in the top 30. So four of them finished above me in the end.
Even Luke. Luke finished above you, didn't he? I saw, yeah. But incredible performance, though. Well done. And as a team, everyone went 4 and 3 or better.
Yeah,
which is fantastic.
That was
awesome. And 3 of you went, or 4 of you went 5 and 2. I think 4 went 5 and 2, right?
Me, Johnny, Tom.
Yeah, we had a dropout, so we had 1 dropout from the team, so we only had 8 players. So yeah, 4 went 5 and 2, and 4 of us went 4 and 3, which is fantastic.
Jacob went 5, 1 draw. Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, wicked, mate.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to bed.
Yeah, quick plug for your podcast. Do you want to mention it?
Yeah, sure. We're Hobbits podcast. There and back again, a Hobbits podcast. Currently on a break. Currently don't have a date for when we're coming back for season 4. We keep pushing it back. But we've got loads of great content. If people want to have a look at it, Adam will pop a link on, I'm sure.
I will indeed, absolutely. And you should check it out. All the old stuff is amazing. And can't wait for the new stuff when you get round to it. And for myself, I've got the Spotify Birdies World Tournament log. There'll be a link to it down below. Go into all our tactics, strategy, and the tournaments I attend. Because this episode has been 2 hours, 12 minutes, I'm not going to do a podcast episode for it. I'll maybe do a little conclusion discussion video about the list, perhaps. But check that out. I've also done a full episode on the doubles I did with Jacob about all the games. If you want to know about that more in detail, check that out. Thanks, Jacob, for putting up with me in the doubles and putting up with my dice. Look forward to next year. I've got Patreon. Rich also has Patreon. Check those out if you want to support what we do and us getting to events and keeping us motivated to keep content going out to you. Check those out as well. And hope to see you all at a tournament soon. And thank you for joining me, Rich. It's been a fun discussion. We said it'd be about an hour. 2 hours, 12 minutes.
I knew once we got going, we can't help ourselves. But
yeah. Love discussing with you. And it's been a great weekend.
Same, mate.
Yeah. Take care, everyone.